middle of the sentence. We're gonna start.
In the middle of the sentence. That's right. Here we go.
Hello, guys. Welcome to this impromptu stream. I don't know if we're gonna have any people joining us because it's like very just like we're just talking on Discord and saying, you know what, let's get together and talk about like what we've been up to and what's coming up next. That's the title, right?
I've been out to sea, and I've come back with a treasure trove of knowledge.
Yeah, a changed man.
Changed man.
Yeah.
One day I'll
Every time you go on a cruise, right, it's life-changing experience. That's what I've been told.
Don't you gain like 5 pounds every time you go on a cruise or something?
That's the change.
5 pounds heavier.
Where you immediately feel like, I got to get a hold on my life.
That's right.
I got to do something better.
Just holding your head in your hands. What am I doing?
What have I done? I didn't need
What about
that
you, Crispy?
pie.
You know what? Busy. Yeah. So, been watching a lot of games, doing more unsolicited advice.
Torturing yourself.
Torturing myself. And I gotta, what I'm finding is I need to get some kind of schedule, because these are, it takes time, going through these things, and it's hard to go through them. But I'm hoping to do more, both live and some recorded games or unsolicited advice. I've also been thinking a lot about your reaction, your marathon reaction videos, Max.
Yeah.
And I've got an idea on that too. I might do some of that, but I think what I find so useful, not a marathon, no, just like what I thought I was going to call it. I got a name for it. I was going to call it "Well, actually, ... and then it was just going to be me reacting to these YouTubers, D&D tubers that give advice, like just reacting to their advice.
Because I'm totally stealing Max's.
So basically, just poaching.
You by me, right? Just like
I'm poaching
like
Max's
used to do it
idea.
before me, and
that's true.
Yeah, it's all reaction videos, I guess, all the time.
A lot of people jumping in Shauner's shoes. They're big.
Yeah,
we're too big to fill.
Yeah. They're too big to fill. We got to do our own thing. So at any rate, so that's what I'm working on. I've been doing these games. We did that one-shot game. I was pleased with that, how that turned out last week. That was good. And we were going to talk about what's coming up for games that we're going to run, maybe even as soon as Monday. So we'll see.
What one shot was that last week?
So that was the Horizon one where you guys were agents.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I liked that game, Max. I thought that was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I watched it again, and I was like, you know what? That's a good game.
I think we've been a bit weak on anchoring. And, it's always when we were like, me and Big Bad, it's been a while since we've played together, and there's always like a bit of a getting the vibe of each other, right?
That's true, there is.
One is done talking, so there's a lot of like talking on top of each other.
Yeah,
like,
that can happen.
Or three, we're kind of used to the rhythm of each other, right? So we can like, we can get like very snappy. This is a learning skill there.
It is.
I think we're doing pretty well, but like every time we're with your new group, right? I forgot because like I lost my game with the orc game, right? That I have.
Yes. How did you feel about that? I watched that.
Like there was a bit of I was quite confused right in the middle because there were like some audio issue, and
there were some audio issues, and it seemed to be coming from Z's side of things.
Yes, it was coming from. We figured it out after the stream.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, and I got this earring problem, right?
Finally, the GM got out of the way.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds
like.
Well,
even if he was not talking, right, there was this buzzing noise coming from his mic, and even like when somebody else was talking, it was like very hard for me to understand. So
it was
at some point I was very lost, and I wasn't sure if it was just me or what, right? I thought it wasn't just me, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to should have like said, well, can we pause the game for a minute, try to figure that out? I was very maybe it would have been better, right? I was very. That's probably something we should talk in session 0 in the technical thing, right?
Yeah.
If there's a technical issue and stuff like that, do we say, okay, let's time out?
Just time out. Let's
see if we
deal
can fix that out, so we can have a go back to the good quality of the game. So I've been thinking about that a bit, right? And and also like I said, like I have this hearing issues that I'm very sensitive to like background noise and stuff like that. I don't have a good selective ear, right? So when there's other noise, it makes it very, very hard for me to understand. That's why I always ask you to put the subtitle on in those streams.
Yeah. Well, it's
like
not
computer
bad.
fans and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's bullying.
Hot button topic.
Yeah. And
Well,
those reaction marathon, like that's also like, I started my channel because I was dissatisfied with the content of the quality of advice that was out there, right? So it's an opportunity for me to go look at some, and I don't watch that much D&D content or RPG content on my free time. So now, like, it's kind of an opportunity for me to do that. And I think like once a month is probably a good opportunity to do that. I can see, okay, what it was in the zeitgeist, and I try not to be too mean, right? When somebody like have good point, I say, yeah, they're right on that, right? But some people
I don't
they
have
take
that
it
hang up
personally.
as much.
You just give it to them.
I'm just saying what I'm thinking, so I apologize if
Yeah.
I was rude. I think I may have ramped up the rudeness of your marathon when I got on.
No, I'm not a very delicate guy either, right? I say what I think,
Right.
but I'm not. What I'm saying is like I'm not looking for bad thing to say, right?
Right.
Right. I'm not like I'm rough, but I'm fair, I think, right? So that's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Right. And I'm not fair, so that's
You're a
the
hater.
problem.
Yeah.
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 Just a
Sorry.
hater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to reply to On Guard, like I don't know what happened to a Big Geek Emporium. I think it's folding, but I don't have the detail. I'm not the right person to ask about that, to be honest.
No, and I don't know either, Hungar. I was on a stream recently with Randy, and he used to be part of Big Geek Emporium, but he says he's no longer involved. So he didn't elaborate more than that. He just said it's no longer part of it. It sounds like they may be selling off their inventory, but that could just be that the two partners have decided to go different ways, and I don't know. I would just be speculating.
Starting a business is rough.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of and people often get into it like a bit ill prepared. Yeah. I started starting a business at some point, and I had to fold too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's really tricky.
So I was thinking about some game ideas for the future.
Yeah.
Nice.
But before I want to talk
Get
about
into
that,
it.
I wanted to talk about how potentially we're playing Horizon tomorrow, or not.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Or we're not. And I wanted to share what I had. That'd be okay?
This is your
cool
character.
My new character.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's not Gene Hackman.
Not
No.
Gene Hackman. I like
He's
it
definitely
already.
not Gene Hackman.
So he's still alive.
He's going to be like this kind of slimy salvager guy.
Your light is working there well, Phil. I can
Thank
see
you.
you way better. Look at that.
Thank
Look
you.
at
Here, let's-
He's the cock of the walk, that guy. Look at him.
Wait.
With his reactive GM shirt.
Let's do this.
Oh, Zonalar's live at the same time.
Zonalar's live
Oh,
right
I'm
now?
sorry.
Oh, sorry,
See, we're
Oh,
Like I
where
can
is
make it
it?
real
Where is
bright.
oh, that's
Look how
not,
bright it gets.
that's
yeah.
Turn it down. Take it easy. All right. I should have had this image prepared. Come on, Bill. All right.
We could have just had this talk in the background, but so you know what? Might as well like
What
put
talk?
it live and hang out. This the talk we're having.
Yeah.
Just hang out.
Yeah. You guys should go. I'll go watch Sonalar.
Watch
for
Zonalar.
John's
He's
sake.
doing something more substantive.
I was thinking
than we
about
are.
this one. Okay, let me do it. Boom.
Okay, yeah.
There he is.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely not Gene
Definitely
Hackman.
not Gene Hackman.
He's
like
not
it?
Gene Hackman. His
So you
name's
want to
gonna
be like this salvager guy?
my starting name, I'm calling him Frankie Pockets, but I don't know if that's what I'm sticking with.
Frankie.
like his-
That's good.
That's what he's involved in the criminal underworld of the hood system.
Oh,
like
okay.
kinda
Go back to
all
the
that
hood
shit
system.
of
Yeah.
we're there now, right?
That's
Yep.
where you are, so I got to be there too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of some link to Alan already. Probably know each
Yeah.
other.
We were thinking that he was the original owner of the Horizon.
Yes, I had said, yeah. Frankie was
Yeah.
Frankie Pockets.
yeah. A
So
kind
did
of a
I
shady
steal
guy.
the ship from him?
I don't know. I wanted to
Or
run
did,
that
or there,
by
was
you.
there
I
like
wanted you to be involved in that decision.
maybe there's a third party? Maybe like he's the one that I used to have the ship and modified it and shit like that to put the jump drive in it. Then somebody took it from him.
Or he
some
lost
gangster.
it. Yeah,
He lost it.
gangster
Maybe
took it.
gambled it. Or maybe like somebody like was late on his protection money or some shit like
Sure.
that, right?
Sure.
Something I want to avoid.
And then Alan stole it from this other guy.
Yep.
Something I want to avoid is railroading the next session with my goal. Because like if you meet my guy and he's once again being hunted by the cartel,
yeah, sure.
we're like, oh, let's fly off a system as quick as we can. It'd be just like the last one.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I want to spend some time on the hood system actually. Like I don't want I'm gonna be pissed. I'm tired of running.
No
you
more
want to
running.
stay in Hood. Hood's a great
in character,
system.
right? Alan in character, Alan's gonna be pissed.
It's gonna be like
might be less cooperative.
I'm seeing like a Blade Runner aesthetic for the Hood system.
Nice.
What are you thinking, Crispy?
Oh, that sounds good. I could run with that. Absolutely.
When we talked about it, we said it was kind of like a old, very industrial world that was kind of on the decline.
Yes.
Probably lost his major industry.
Yep.
So maybe would it be good if I had something I wanted you to do for me, or maybe I have like how do we link our characters together?
Well, probably like evolve in the same circle. Maybe we don't know each other that well, but you know the ship very well.
Yeah, maybe you worked for me. Maybe you like worked in the salvage yard for a little bit,
like,
and then you stole my shit.
If we go with the idea that there's like a third party between like you owning or ownership of the ship and my ownership.
I don't know why you're insisting on this, but go ahead.
Because it takes away the friction between us a bit.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of diffusing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still some because you still feel like the ship ought to be yours, but I'm not the guy that stole it, and I probably would, but I might have been working for the guy that stole it from you.
Yeah.
One of being his dog.
So we are creating a faction then that is antagonistic to both of us.
Yes.
There you go.
Scenario.
Nice unifying thing.
Yeah. Because I'm a turncoat, and you're pissed off that the way they treated you. I think that's.
What if I just like?
But it's your character.
No, I want you to say this stuff. What if I was like wanting to lay low for a while, so I was like, let me just fly around with you for a little bit. Like, would that be? I don't want to be in my junkyard right now because
nope. And it's
I want to be.
I'll probably be in on that because like I need kind of somebody that knows the ship.
Yeah, I don't want to leave right away because I know people. You're like, I still have connections here. It's still lucrative for me to be in system. I just don't want to. I want to be out of pocket a little bit. You know.
Yeah. It might be something. Like I want to take time also. Like now, like I'm back on the hood system to bring Brick's corpse back to his wife. So maybe there's to be something there, right? Maybe you knew Brick too. Probably you did.
Maybe.
What if someone's trying to get me to take a job? I don't want to take like some real heavy hitter. Knows I'm like one of the best hackers around. And they're like, you need to do this job for us. And so I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to rob those guys. That's a death sentence or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool. That could be a surface level motivation. Maybe there's something underneath it like that.
Just some reason to be. I'll keep that to myself. You don't need to know.
Because I can tell you like the motivation for Alan right now. Like that's what it is, right? He just like he's a bit tired of running.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not if he's gonna be pushed, he's not gonna be pushed right now, right? It's gonna be hard to push on the run. He might just like be very like fuck you, shoot me, right?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I don't have to run.
He wants to do the right thing to Briggs, right? Bring the body to the wife and probably have a funeral or some shit. So that's probably gonna take him like some time to stay there as well.
So my guy's like a salvager. So maybe he has like I don't know how you feel about this, Crispy, but maybe he has some sort of major component that could be attached to the horizon, like a salvaging tool of some kind.
Like some kind of tractor beam or something.
He never attached it before it got stolen.
Sure.
Do you like tractor beams?
Or like some kind of lamprey? Maybe it's not a tractor beam. Maybe it's just some kind of manipulator arm or something like that. Like a or a lamprey dock, like where you can. It's
What
it's a dock that you don't have to use a docking thing for it, so you could just land anywhere on the ship and it
make a hole
seals, and then you can make a hole so you can get in.
or a gun.
So-
Kind
is
of
it-
illegal because pirates love it, but
Yeah, that'd be really good because I could attach it over that giant hole over the airlock.
yeah, and it's like it's a well, it's not strictly speaking illegal, though it's kind of frowned upon that you've got to.
Probably you go someplace.
It's illegal most places because you can just anytime you stick that lamprey dock on a ship, you can just cut a hole there, and then you have access to the ship.
Yeah.
Be good for salvaging though. Yeah.
Would it be too much to give it a high intensity mining laser of some kind?
No, I
Yeah,
think that'd
one-
be cool.
no, I want
cool.
some offensive. That's what I want.
Gotta
I
have
want some
something.
offensive.
That's what I'm saying. So like it's kind of like a jank offensive weapon on it, sort of like
Yeah, yeah. It's
But I might be ready to get rid of the ship.
for
too.
mining. Yeah, well, maybe get rid of the ship. Yeah.
then I will buy it and then I will go off into the sunset. and I'll make
Your
it
character
I'm
is
retired.
great. We never saw him.
Yeah, I describe myself as the babysitter of long-term NPCs.
There we go.
That's
Come
my
here,
game.
Evelyn. Have a seat.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Squirrel was saying earlier, like I'm definitely incorporating more 4D elements into my
Good
my
job.
table. The two other participants are 100% on board. I'm glad to hear it, and I'm
Well, and
I'm glad
that second part is so important. You can't do it if you don't have everyone on board, because someone's going to be like, "This is stupid," and then they can wreck it so quick.
and like that'd be like at some point
Just in the
Squirrel,
middle of the
you
game.
need- you
This
need
is
the-
stupid.
Mhm.
You need to come talk to us at some point, Squirrel Hermit, so we can like about your experience and how it went and the benefit
yeah.
you saw from it and stuff like that. Like that's definitely the talk we need to have. Hit me up on if you still do the YouTube thing. I haven't seen anything from you in a while, but if you're
Yeah.
interested at some point, like hit me up and we'll have a chat. That'd
And
be, like, a
what
very
I'd like to
interesting-
hear is I'd like to hear why the other two are 100% on board.
Mhm.
Like, what was it that convinced them?
Yeah, and how did you approach them about that? Right, like
How did you sell the
might
idea?
be-
Yeah.
if you ever
And,
like, I don't even know if he's still listening. I hope he is.
Hope he is. It's only
Anyone
been a few
else
minutes.
anyone else that's doing that? Obviously,
Yeah, we'd love
I
to hear
think
how it's going.
Kingmaker is also on that journey.
Yes,
He sure is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
starting to put video on, so we'll
Yeah.
probably hear about it.
Yeah, he's starting to make videos. I saw one. It was good video today. It was like, hey,
Yeah.
if you're not feeling it, don't run it. And
Yeah,
that's
a
good
video
advice.
like on the beach by the Atlantic, right? He's stealing my
Yeah.
my old
Yeah, he
shit.
is. He stole your ocean, Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. A game I was thinking about running in the near future. I got 3 ideas.
Yeah.
We could do the horror game because Chris was talking about horror. I got Tomb of Lime just came out with a horror video.
On disease, that one? Or
Yeah.
was it-
Definitely
Mhm.
watch that video. I think
Mhm.
that's a great way to run it. And I'm
Mhm.
probably going to use that model. And then or a low magic or no magic human
Yeah.
sort of Palladium game,
Mhm.
just as a
I
way
could
to
be done with
experiment. I want to experiment with systems more.
Mhm.
'Cause I feel like
I
we're
wanna
in
do
the
that as well.
easy D6. I'd
Yeah.
like to try to get on some hype trains, like a Shadow Dark 40 game or like
Sure.
something like that,
Yeah,
just to get hype.
It's
To hype it.
tricky. I mean, I've watched a lot of Shadow Dark in the last
Yeah.
Shadow Dark actual plays in the
You have a
last little
1,000-yard
while.
stare when you say that.
Yeah. Well, I've watched a lot of actual plays recently, and Shadow Dark was one of them. And it was a little rough. It's as far as systems go, I think it's fine. It's just that you have a 1 hit point character. Like
Okay.
it's
don't get hit.
Don't get
yeah, I
it.
guess so.
Get
Like,
good.
it's
Yeah,
you can still role play it. It's just that you're not going to role play it for long. Like
No, just be careful of the luck die.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I got good news for you. We won't be role playing for long.
No,
Might be a one shot.
Yeah,
yeah, it could be a one
Be-
shot.
like Shadow Dark doesn't really like tickle my fancy. I'm not opposed to it, right? Just like
Yeah.
like
I like. Isn't it like?
I'm okay with playing it.
Mhm.
Although like I'm not gonna get the book because like it's fucking prohibitive there in Canada.
Oh, it's so expensive. You just can't
Yeah.
even get it. It's ridiculous.
Is it
Yeah.
a PDF?
You can get
Yeah,
PDFs.
I would have to read through PDF. There's like also
Is there a $40 PDF I can purchase?
the starter rules right online, and I think you can actually like start with them and go
Sure,
like
you can. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
far enough.
You
Like
can.
it's not just like it just give you an idea, but you need to buy to play, right? Just like I think in the
John Tate wants us to play Sorcerer.
I haven't even heard of it. I don't even know
Never
what it
heard of it.
is.
I heard of it because like I was looking in John Edwards stuff at some point recently, but I just like heard of it, right?
Mhm.
It'd be a good idea to try more games for sure.
Yeah. That's
But
definitely
I have
something
to. I'm sorry to do this to you guys. I got to run.
Gotta run.
But Monday, tomorrow, we're gonna see your new character, not Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I think I have to talk more about it, but yes.
Okay, we'll do it.
We can do that, or we can. We can do that, or we can session 0 something else or something.
Or if you'd prefer, we can session
we can
zero
do a real
something else.
session
Yes.
0 Monday.
We can do a real session 0
Monday.
Yeah, and we can. I'm totally game for that too. If you guys decide that
just
we're
for
doing
having a bit of a palate cleanser, right?
Exactly. And there's, what, a palate cleanser is a great idea. And
I might sneak in a ultimate no prep challenge right at the end. I don't know.
Wait, you know what? We haven't done that in a while too, Phil, and that would be a lot of fun to do another one of those. Those are great.
Actually, we should get a clip that goes pew 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 pew, and then it's like an ultimate no prep challenge that me or Max can press.
You can just press it at any time. Oh no, he pressed it. It's the ultimate no prep challenge.
My overlay, like the overlay I have, right?
Yeah, like your overlays.
Just do it. You just hit the overlay. Like, oh no! As long as everyone's having fun.
I think you can make them GIF too.
I love it. All right, have a great evening, guys. Keep me posted as to what we're doing tomorrow. But and then those of you that are brave enough to be watching this right now, look for a game from us tomorrow night. Well, we're not sure what it'll be, but we'll have something. Thanks.
Take care, Crispy.
Talk to you later. Bye.
I miss Crispy.
You miss him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since
I love that guy.
Hang out with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what do we do now? Now we're just back here. We're just doing things.
We can keep talking about like what you're talking. Like you said you had 3 ideas and you went to you said the horror, and then you said like the human only, low fantasy, Palladium only.
Yep.
Obviously, in terms of setting and tone, like human only, low fantasy, that's something that now you appeal to me a lot. Palladium doesn't tickle my fancy either, but like I would be game to do it. Oh, make sure comedy is one of the suggestions. Yeah,
it will be.
Yeah, like I was hoping to take it out, but again, I guess those guys put it back in.
We could ultimate no prep challenge right now if you want.
No, I'm too tired, I think.
Yeah, okay. The third one I was thinking was there's a couple, actually 2 more. The third one though was a vampire World of Darkness game, but we have this guy, Space Roadie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that used
designed a D100 Vampire the Masquerade game, so he wants to run it.
Oh.
So that could happen soon.
Yeah.
And then I will play in that with Crispy and Nick. So far.
Okay.
So far.
I got the message. Oh, there you go. He's just right here.
He is. He's a real freak. That's true.
He's a real freak. Yeah. You all need girls in your games. Whoops, sorry. There you go. That's all we want to. Well,
what do you think about that, Max?
Join.
Yeah.
I'm not gatekeeping them. Well, maybe I am, but not.
Why aren't you playing with us? I don't understand.
Yeah. And she loved Vampire the Masquerade. There you go.
Get on it.
Yeah. And he also decided
he's got a few games.
Yeah.
He's got a few games.
And the Elos on the Lar.
Sorry, we stole your thunder, Zonalar. If you were, we didn't realize. We should have realized because we're cool like that. Yeah. But the other one I was thinking was I want Max to finally live his dream as an anthropomorphic cat.
Yes.
And I was talking about running an anthropomorphic game, and I've always had this like vision. I live in the piney woods. That's in East Texas. There's a lot of pine trees around. It's called the Piney Woods. That's the name of this region.
Okay.
Basically, it's just a bunch of pine trees around here. But it's East Texas. I imagine there's probably more pine trees other places. But anyways, and so like I always like look at the top of pine trees and there's always birds and like creatures up there. And I have this like vision of an anthropomorphic game of like a kingdom at the treetops where like certain birds are ruling and there's like squirrels and like different shit like that. It's gonna be more like Secrets of Nim, anthropomorphic creatures, not like Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood, But
Yeah.
so that's what I was thinking. So it's like reality, but the animals are.
I think the anthropomorphic, I think there's something interesting with the anthropomorphic animal that you can have like those, you can play like a squirrel, and then like you have like monster, like it's an owl,
Yeah.
or a cat or something like that, right? Or a snake, right? So you have like those natural monster, then, but because you're so small, it give a different perspective, right?
Or you have like the owl.
Yeah.
Imagine how terrifying an owl is.
Yeah.
It's like a squirrel.
Yeah. Well, we can ask the hermit.
Squirrel Hermit, how terrifying are owls to you?
Yeah.
We'll see what he thinks about that. But I imagine he's going to say very terrifying.
I still vote for the Toblerone family mafia. Is that like the Fear City thing we did? The Toblerone family.
Yeah, it would be fun to get back to Fear City.
Yeah.
I love mafia style games, which is why I want to play Vampire the Masquerade again.
Yeah. And like I've never been a fan of a vampire, but I have like a good concept for a character now.
You're telling me you're open to it now.
Yeah, I'm open to it now.
So you're open to being homosexual now, because that's what you said it was. It was homosexual.
Yes, exactly. It's like just experimenting, right?
Yeah. It's not that your views on vampires have changed. It's your views on homosexuality.
That's how it is.
That's cool.
No, like I that's one of my, I said for Lent that I'm gonna stop being a degenerate for Lent and stop drinking, but I fell on drinking, so now I have to cut down on promiscuity.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to be a bit chaste. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you like
good for you.
That's something I'm not proud of. It wasn't homosexual, but
yeah.
Anyway,
you gave up homosexuality for Lent. Is that what you're saying? Me too.
Yeah, I just stopped like
that's
a random woman.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Anyways, you got any cool game ideas you would like to play?
Me, there's definitely like system I want to try, right?
Yeah.
And I told you like I've been working a lot on Bastard Sword, and I still want to run that back with you. I like what the rules are going now. I can show you a little later if you want. And
you want to do a little pre-alpha character generation as a city?
I'm not quite done yet. Like I have like 2 more steps to work on. To refine a bit, and then like I'm almost there to have like the full from top to bottom, right? And I think it's gonna be good, right? And then I'm gonna have some tweaking to do for the number and stuff like that. But like I can do that once I have like a full path, right? And I can say, no, this character is too weak. I need to give a little more point here and there, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna like where I'm going when I'm doing with. I can show you it a bit later. But also outside of that, I want to do there's a few systems like I told you I want to try, right? I want to try Cowpuncher.
Yeah,
which is made
You've been telling me about that since I met you almost.
Yeah, it's made for Western, and like it's like no fantasy, it's not weird West or anything. It's just like straight up Western.
Mm-hmm.
I think the system is interesting. The thing is, like, I know nothing about Western except that I don't like it.
What about? I mean, French people love Westerns. I guess you're not French, but I feel like
I don't like Western because I don't like trains.
Right.
And I'm the one at the stick.
I remember the one time we almost did a Western, you suggested that it take place entirely on a train.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like exposure therapy.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not into trains.
Hates trains.
Yeah. And for me, like Western, the whole thing about Western, like, is the end of adventure era, right? Like it's just like people always move to the West to get away from civilization. Like people that have like a thirst for adventure, they always move to the West, right? and at some point there was no west to move anymore, right? And that's where the Western, now it's civilization coming to them, right? And encroaching against on freedom,
It's a
so that's
huge
why, like,
theme of Western.
yeah, but it's like it's very nostalgic for me. It's like very like the end of adventure.
Well, it doesn't have to be a train.
But it could be, right? For a game like that, I'm
the cabins went ahead of the trains, or not the cabins, the
cowboy.
The wagons, not cabins, wagons.
Yeah.
Wagons went ahead of the trains.
Oh, there you go. A small contribution for you to getting over your fear of trains.
Good luck.
Yeah.
What's wrong with trains? It's like such an awesome place to fight someone, is on top of a train or in a train.
Trains, like trains, it makes travel too easy. I don't like things that are easy, right? Makes travel safe and easy and efficient and fast, and then also it makes it that now we have to have like standard time and shit like that, right? Now things get regularized.
So you're saying trains as an invention, not trains in a story setting. You just
no, it's train. No, it's the concept of train. It's the invention of trains that changed the world in a way that I dislike.
Yeah.
It's very like
shipping in general.
Like I don't see a train and get scared, right? I'm not afraid of train. I just dislike the concept of train, right? Like I don't like guns, right? I don't know if you know that. I don't like guns,
right?
And I don't like it's not because I'm a liberal and I'm scared of guns. I don't like guns because I don't think like guns allow like some kind of like
cowards to defend themselves. Yes, I know.
Or a dysgenic fox that cannot walk and like just have one arm walking can kill like a big like MMA guy, right, or whatever, right? Just like, and that's unnatural. It shouldn't happen, right? Like it's like gun is the great equalizer, they say, right?
Yeah.
But men are not created equal, and they shouldn't be equal. So making them equal with guns goes against nature. So yeah, I just want to murder with my own hand, exactly. And if somebody wants to murder me, like come at me, with your own hand, maybe with a knife or a sword, allowed it, right? But you have to put the effort yourself.
Right.
So shooting me like before I saw you, there's no honor in that.
If someone has a spear, is that starting to get a little?
I'm okay with spear.
You're okay with spears, okay?
Yeah, and spears are like it's a sharpened stick, like they're almost as old as men, or maybe even older than men. You can argue because like we had spear before we were modern men, right?
Yeah. Oh, K-Dolo's got a good question here. How do you feel about crossbows?
I'm okay with crossbow.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, but even like a muzzle loader, it's inefficient enough that I'm not too upset about them, right?
Okay.
It's when you go to modern guns, when you go to mechanized warfare and stuff like that, then I say like, well, no, there's no honor anymore in warfare.
Usually you're fixing bayonets after a couple volleys and you're getting in there.
Yeah. Yeah, Max doesn't like exactly. I don't like the equalitarian nature of firearms.
It's probably one of if its key attributes, keeps the
Max would be the Frenchman complaining about the English longbow at Agincourt. It's unfair that you hero can kill a knight from far away. Exactly. Yeah. But
what do you think about this?
They're in Showdown
at duel of minds.
Yeah, if you do duels, I guess, right? It's kind of ritualistic, but I would much rather have a duel with a sword, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Then I don't know.
Do you have a lot of sword training?
No, not much. Played a bit with them. I'm a sword collector. But
yeah.
It's true.
That's good. That's great. I don't.
Oh yeah, so Cowpuncher. That's one system I want to try.
Cowpuncher, yes.
Big tangent. And I want to try also like Forbidden Lands, which is a system I find interesting. I want to see how it plays. And probably also Street of Peril. That was like an adaptation
Streets of Peril.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Burning Wheel, I would say. It seemed interesting.
I'm a big fan of another book I got from the Palladium Christmas thing was Ninjas and Super Spies. I've always been a big fan of that book. because it has all the fighting styles, but also because it has the supercars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can make supercars in it. And so
Yeah.
me and my brothers, that's one of my earliest role-playing game memories, is making like a super semi that could carry all of our supercars. And that was like our group, our party.
Like what was that game? Like wasn't like a
Spy
Nintendo
Hunter?
game like that? Spy Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get into the
Exactly
Yeah.
like Spy Hunter. It's the best
Space
game.
Odyssey, like Luke Crane is a dangerous, unstable individual. It seemed to be, yeah.
Luke Crane?
Yeah, the creator of Burning Wheel. Show us your favorite sword.
Okay.
They're all upstairs.
Oh yeah, he is a little unstable. Yeah.
And Cody, you say I did EMA and SCA. I didn't know you did EMA and SCA.
Boom.
I'd be interested in doing EMA, but like I always live in place where there's nobody, so there's no like I always like live in the middle of nowhere.
Just start fighting in the middle of the street and see who comes out to join you.
Yeah, but like even like doing like regular martial art, the only thing there is like a boxing club.
Yeah,
I might go see, because like I miss.
You miss hitting things.
I miss hitting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. What Oakshot type of sword is your favorite? I like the Montente, so I don't know. I don't even think that's in the Oakshot typology. Like I don't have one. I have like a big lowlander Zweihander, like a lowlander. Oh, there you go.
Look at this guy. I want to be this. See, I want to be this guy.
Like I was hoping to.
I'd also be this guy, but this guy.
I was hoping. I was hoping that Alan is kind of like a kung fu guy, right?
Yeah, I like how he has kung fu sometimes. He does katas and stuff,
or karate and shit. Like, yeah, he's like Alan is a martial art guard. Like, it's nondescript martial art. I guess it's a futuristic martial art.
Yeah. Although he doesn't have boon on melee attacks, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
Not to give them, but is getting it is very hard.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's like a very defensive fighter, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. But he also do like the dirty trick and stuff like that, right? He always have like a that's why I throw coffee in the face, or like my cigarette in the face, or like I always like do all those things, like throwing stuff at people, or doing throwing my gun, stuff like that when the gun jam. Yeah,
I don't know if any of those ever worked, but yes, I do remember.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
It just gives them disadvantage, right? Or bane.
Yeah, but it allows me to close in, right? And I'm already like hard to hit. So, Scottish Basket-Ale, they're very nice. I'm looking to get one. That's probably one of the next one I'm gonna get. I'm working on doing urban fantasy using Beyond the Supernatural, Ninja, and Super Spy. There you go.
Badass.
Yeah. Nerdy Ogre is a Palladium guy. So this is the thing I want to. Those are the system I think I want to try on top of my head.
Look at this. Look at how useful this is.
Yeah.
So much tables. You get so much role playing out of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I show it to you?
You roll. Yeah, there's a lot of occasion to roll. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this is like someone has said this before, but it's like I would buy role-playing books instead of real books because they're more interesting to me than like a story.
Yeah.
It's just like interesting to see
space
world building, I guess. And Palladium's really good at world building.
Yeah.
Let's do role-play advice
section. There you go.
So much. The role-play advice section. Probably in that supplement.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a module.
I like role-playing game books because I like system, right? I think like role-playing system is very interesting because like it's a tough challenge, right? It's like because you want to have like the game to be complex enough that you can cover most situation, that have enough depth and stuff like that, but you don't want it to be too clunky. And I'm always interested in seeing how designer solve that issue, right? And when you do video game design, you can make those systems like super clunky and complex to have exactly the feel that you want, right? Because it's all managed by the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's less interesting. But I don't know, like it's a specific problem that I find very interesting. That's always something that appealed to me in there. And having them not get in the way of role play and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. There's a lot in Palladium. Max Liao says this a lot, but he talks to those designers a lot. That Palladium is very much designed for you to just throw away whatever rules you want to throw away.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't even worry about all that crap.
And I have like zero experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have like a Palladium Fantasy here, but I never like because I was supposed to jump into a game at some point, and then it fell through, and I never looked into it. Right?
You were? Oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, it's okay.
I was thinking your Castles and Crusades game was Palladium, but it's not. Obviously,
no. It's Castle and Crusade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warhammer Fantasy, I really like the setting. The rules there's some good rules too in the last edition for what it is, right? It's a bit clunky, I find, but like I like the setting a lot.
Cody should run Wizards of Shadow City. I hear good things.
Yeah, well, you played in it, no?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. I thought you did.
Did we play it all? I made a character.
Oh, I remember like I seeing in the Discord that there was like a recorded.
I was trying to get you guys to play.
But I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them.
I was trying to get us to debut Cody's system. But he beat me to it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But
he has a little game online.
Yeah.
But
and that's something like I try to do when I design like in Bastard Sword, right? I was trying to, like I often say, like I'm trying to solve the issue of like, can we have like this kind of a deep a little bit more crunchy kind of combat, and I wanted to have like this feel of like back and forth and having stuff happening and combat not being like, it's I spent a lot of time like working on the combat system, and I think that's something that works. That can work well.
When me and Crispy played that one game, it was really long. Like that at one point it was getting really drawn out, right? Do you remember that?
The combat?
Yeah. I don't know if it felt like it was long.
Was it? Or should we watch it?
We can.
I think it's was it?
Should we do commentary on the last Bastard Sword game we played?
We can. We can. But also I did change stuff from there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I didn't make it because the game is meant to be deadly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it.
But it was like we were just kind of slugging back and forth for a little while. Combat was just about over, but it was like these three guys, and I'm just like bing, 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 bing. It seemed like it was like incredibly hard to actually get the damage off.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. I think you tweaked it after. I mean, you've totally redesigned the game since then. So.
Also, like, and I'm not gonna lie. Also, like, there's a. Let me fucking put that in dark mode so I don't get blinded.
Yep. There you go. Game number 5. I'm gonna run.
Oh. There you go.
It is. I should just learn that system really good and then run it. Wizards.
What was I about to say? There's also one thing about the Bastard Sword, that it's a system that you there's some difficulty to it. You have to learn it, right? It's meant in that way.
Yes. Oh, I see. So you're saying potentially we were not making strategically optimal decisions.
Yes.
Let's see.
Oh fuck.
Here you go, guys. I'll show you.
Fuck! I hate
there you go.
Myself. Wizard of Shadow City. There you go.
Don't you want to do that?
That's well.
Don't you want to be that guy?
No.
What? I thought you liked this kind of time period. You don't like this time period. It's
I don't like Wizard,
noir.
and I like the noir thing
Uh-huh.
a bit, but I don't like Wizard.
Well, you don't have to be a wizard. You actually hunt wizards.
Oh, then I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have questioned by
you guys can be
Conway.
wizard hunters.
Yeah. Say like I'm running a Dark Heresy 2E40 game for. Oh yeah, I heard about that, and I asked a question about that. The Crunchy One table in that rule set are impossible to roleplay with not using those. Yeah, I'm curious actually to see how this game is gonna go. Because I think like
the
40k is very hard in the system, and it's very hard in the rule set usually. It's. Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying it's the Fantasy Flight 40k game.
It's the
Dark Heresy.
Dark Heresy. Yeah. What's wrong with Wizard? You want to get me started? I'm not used to disliking Wizard and magic in general.
It's probably about the same issue he has with guns. Probably all wrapped up, and he's sick of wusses being able to take him on.
Yeah, exactly.
Look how severe
I have a lot of
your
hang up.
haircut is.
Yeah, awesome. What I was thinking there.
Pretty awesome.
What's up with this? What?
It's pretty awesome.
You think so?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I'm in the longer mood now.
Is the GM normally called the Bastard, or is that just a joke?
It's just a joke there.
Okay, I think you should call GM the Bastard though.
Well, I was saying that I've been saying the GM all throughout the book, and I'm usually opposed to like those like just calling the GM, right? Just like you want to have this thematic original name.
Yeah, you do like common usage words.
Yeah. And even like the rebel roles are and stuff like that, and it's like, well, you're just making like it's the GM, right? Everybody like understand that word. But maybe maybe I'm gonna soften up on that one and call the GM the Bastard.
Just to bring him down a peg.
Yeah.
Call it the reactive GM.
There you go. The game Bastard. Yeah. But I think Bastard is cool, right? Like the GM should be the Bastard. Discourage women from running your game. Well, I don't think I'll need that.
Except Black Dahlia, who's more than welcome to.
Should I go straight to a fight?
It's probably in the last hour and a half, anywhere in there.
I got one here.
I'm just joking.
In the last hour and a half. Oh, I get what you're saying.
I'm saying it was long.
But okay, there's a few things I changed.
I mean, we have initiative up right here. I mean,
there's a few things I changed. One thing I see was an issue, right? I allowed people to do like 2 action and stuff like that, and that I cut. Now you do 1 action per turn, right? Like because that
the up and down.
You can still act on the negative of the initiative if you want to delay your action, but you cannot do both. So you have to choose, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to act now? Or you want to act later, right? So you can still do that because like where you place initiative is kind of important.
Yeah. I vaguely remember the rules here. It was something like where if you had dice left over, then you could act again or something.
Yeah, and you can, and that's one thing too, right? Like I was from the test I'd done privately before, right? Locally.
Your solo
like
RP.
It was kind of like like you guys tried a lot to save dice to do a second action.
Yes.
And that's a very different experience than I had, where people were just like trying to do the best action they can, right? Like in my mind, it was meant to be something that, once in a while it's going to be useful, but it should be like kind of the exception, right?
Yeah. I think while I was playing, excuse me, I was trying to get like some attacks off on people who were diceless, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Anyways.
Yeah.
Seemed like it would be
exhausted their dice.
But it's sure, you're right. It makes it longer. for sure.
Yeah, and it does make it so that might be something that I still have to tweak a bit, because I want it to be like, I kind of want it to be an option, but I don't want it to be like a good option in most cases. But anyway, already like cutting the second action, right? You can have reaction and stuff like that, and I limited also like the reaction chain and stuff like that. There's some tweak I did here and there from like seeing how you were engaging with the game. You also like back then success were on 4s, and now like they've been cut down on 3, so you can have like more success with your roll.
Yeah, that was a big deal. It's not, there weren't enough successes.
Yeah, because the game is meant to be deadly, and you need to be able to overcome armor and stuff like that. But also, one thing also like that I think you didn't take full advantage of was because the game is meant that you're supposed to set up a good strike and then kill the guy. You're not supposed to just like, and that's what I'm saying, like there's kind of a learning curve to the game. Like you're not supposed to just like the game is supposed to discourage you from just standing there and trying to chip away at the guy. Like if you do that and it doesn't work, you should try doing something else. That's why there's a maneuver and stuff like that.
Trying to stack malice,
or get bonus dice for yourself and stuff like that, right? So and there's stuff you grab the guy and try to skewer him with the dagger, stuff like that. Then you go, you can ignore the armor. So now like there's a good chance you can stab in one shot, but then you have to do the thing, right? If you try to throw the guy down and then hit him when he's like, you're gonna have like much more bonus. And sometimes like, and because also like that's one thing, like I want armor to be efficient. I want armor to be, I don't want it, like I hate when armor is like useless. Like you see that in movie a lot, right? People got like full plate and they get like pierced through the belly. No, like when you armor, it's supposed to be, and also you can like now you can also like directly attack the spirit of somebody, so you can exhaust them, and that's one way to get them to stop fighting. That's also something I added. And you have much less spirit than you used to.
Yeah. I'll read the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I used to read. Let's read Mosaic. I used to read all the materials in place of books too. I like to managing adventures. Yeah, that's what I agree.
Yep.
I'm really bad at like reading in general and like understanding what I'm reading as I'm reading it. It's probably because I have TV brain rot. GM should be bastard. Yeah, we did that. GM, yeah. Okay.
The GM of the Bastard Sword.
Not like they're elemental fusionists. Yeah.
I don't get it. But I'm not a
I didn't get it either. Gang, are you part of?
GM gang.
Yeah, GM
like,
gang.
Thematically, I think narrator is a better term. But I'm so big on like just use the generic term that people are used to. Yeah.
You would love the D100 game he's making. It's heavily focused on medieval combat with armor profiles and swapping around optimal weapon ranges. Boom.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of that as well. I'm not a big fan of the D100 games, though. I kind of dislike them, to be honest. I know a lot of people are into it.
What's the Space Running. What's the drawback? You like curves. You like dice with curves.
That like D100 is a linear. Like D100 is a linear roll, and I think like having the percentage of 100 is like more granularity than you need. Like you can just do the same thing with a D20.
Yes.
And I hate rolling D100 with the 2D10 and shit like that. Like that's I don't know. I fucking hate it. Like just make your game like go by 5% step and then like cut everything by 5 and make it a D20.
Right. What's that game you made us play the other with Father Sisman?
Pendragon.
Burning Wing. Oh yeah, Pendragon.
Yeah, and that's one thing, right?
D20.
It's
I want to play that game again.
It kind of used it's like a very similar system. Like it's an adapted system of the fuck, what is the name? Like the RuneQuest system, but the basic roleplay system, BRP. Yeah, basic roleplays. So but BRP is D100, right? But Pendragon took this system and said, you know what? Let's do that. Let's cut everything by 5 and make it D20. And I think it's a better way to do it.
It's just one die.
Yeah.
So nice.
And like then you in the D100, like you're like, oh, you get like a 2% bonus, and it's like, oh man, you just feel like exhausting, right? It's like having those little fucking bonus or those little thing that and if you look at the BRP system in itself, right? One thing that I fucking hate, and almost every game that is declined from BRP fixed that, but like in BRP, it's like, yeah, if you roll under 5% of your skill level, you get a crit. It's not if you roll under 5%, it's if you roll under 5% of your skill level. So now you have to think like, oh, okay, so I have and it might be,
yeah.
So, yeah, you have to think like, oh, okay, so I have like a 67 in that skill. So if I roll under 3.25, I mean, it's like, that's so fucking insane.
Yeah. All you math babies out there.
Yeah, there's one on 20% as well.
It's fine.
Well, if it was 10%, it'd be like not as bad, right? Now you can do like kind of do 10% and then cut it in half again. Like, and I'm not bad with maths.
Yeah,
but I'm not playing by myself.
Yeah, it's not the most immersive experience.
Yeah,
5%.
Yeah. So
I really liked playing your combat system though. And I don't know that I was immersed. I don't know that it was immersive.
No.
I think that it was. I think that it allowed you to stay in character easily enough.
Yeah.
That's while still, while still saying like system things.
Yeah, that was a big thing I was trying to do, and like I said, like it's kind of an experimental game because I'm trying to see, like I'm trying to resolve the question of if can you marry both, right? Can you marry both, like the crunchiness and the pro role play kind of game, right? And I think
I feel like it would be more because I said this about your game, even though you said it was not true. I don't know. Maybe you think it is true now. I don't know. Or maybe you always thought it was true. But basically, like, there's so many different maneuvers that were available in the combat system. It felt like there was an opportunity to create a sort of fighting style almost. Like, you're like, I really like to utilize these two maneuvers and then into...
Isn't that something I told you that you should do? You should focus on the one that are relevant to your character.
Maybe.
Because like that's probably like this part of the book of like it's not written now, but like that's something I have in my notes to do, right? So I'm gonna encourage people, like say, like, there's a lot of maneuver you can do. Learn the one and master the one that are relevant to your character. Right? If your character doesn't fight with a shield or doesn't fight with 2 weapons in his hand and stuff like that, don't worry about those. But learn the one that are useful, that are meaningful to your character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just totally gave you that idea, but whatever.
All right, I'll give you a credit.
No, but I think that if you do that, like you're saying, then it allows you to keep that immersive style because you see like the openings. Maybe you can like more focus in if you are wanting to be a combat oriented character, you know.
Yeah, and one thing also that I need to explain better is one thing that I need to explain better is that I need to is that the combat is meant to be much more conversational, right? Conversational.
You got it.
I got it in the end. That you're supposed to you're supposed to say what you do right now, and then like there's supposed to be a lot of back and forth, right? And so the guy defend himself. He say it right now. He say, "Oh, I'm defending with my shield." Like, "Oh, go attack him with my sword, and I'm defending with my shield, right? And so it's supposed to be like very like short interaction, goes back and forth with the rolls, right? And then you roll and you see who we win the exchange, and then you can say, oh, I move one step, I shift one step toward him, and then I grab him, and
Spend
then
your points or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I punch him in the face with the cup of my heel, right?
Yeah.
Of my heel.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it really, it's really designed well to stay in character.
Yeah, and I want to have
be meaningful. I want meaningful.
And I want to have like this, and I want to have this dynamic conversation. And then like once you say that, right? You said how you spend your point, and then you roll your damage and stuff like that, and then it's the other guy that say, right, oh, now I'm getting a fresh new wound, and being bruised, or like I start bleeding from my face now, right? And it's like, so because you roll your damage,
like ticking boxes.
Exactly.
He's like just describing what the box means.
So basically, the guy getting the damage is the one describing the damage that he received. Like the guy winning the exchange describe how he spent the hits he got.
It's like a built-in social contract.
Yeah, and
baked in, I should say.
And it's meant that basically like both people should probably have taken their turn at that point, right? So we can then move on the next exchange, right? And it's also like the game is supposed to
it's all contested.
Yeah, the game is supposed to disincentivize also with just like, oh, everybody fighting on one guy and then letting the other guy like unoccupied, right? No, you're supposed to, because that's also something I hate. If you do that,
or 5 guys attack this guy and the other 5 guys are attacking this guy.
Yeah. The ganging up, right? No, you like, if you're 5 versus 5, you're not gonna do like, well, let's all go kill this guy first, and those 4 other guys are gonna do whatever they want, right? No, like you probably should take 1 guy each.
Yeah, they're just gonna stab you right in the back.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be in trouble.
They're gonna kill 4 of you,
basically, or make you, or like maybe not kill you outright, but then like there's the death spiral as well, right? So you're gonna be in pretty big trouble for the next.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's play that a bit. Let me tell you, chicken here.
On an arrow that now sits in the arrow rest, just knocked and ready to go.
Pretty much
I
at
look
the start
over
of combat.
Rolo, waiting for his cue. It's dark. It's hard to make out the embers of the fire as it struggles against the dew and the light rain that falls.
Sorry, what?
I said I look tired.
Oh,
look at me.
Yeah, well, we've been playing for
go to bed, little baby.
Blink hard to try to.
You all clean cut there.
Blink the fatigue out of my eyes. I'll need to see clearly.
The big guy untied the horse, trying to keep him quiet. The
I hate
skinny
hearing
guy
myself.
by the old man, draw a dagger. The light of the fire catch on the blade.
Oh, this is that scene. That scene's awesome. In a flash, I'm charging forward my flambears to skewer the back of the larger man.
I yell out, "Brigand!" I shout. As I do, I draw the bow full 110 pounds of this yew wood, sighting the dagger-wielding murderer.
Chris, we just casually taken 2 turns. Yeah. Let me roll my dice, Chris. Should he let me roll my dice there? What do you think?
Oh, I decided to take another turn. Yes.
It's an animal.
Yeah, no initiative, no nothing. Oh, there you go. You put it there now.
I have the cool bastard sword dice.
Yeah, the bastard sword custom dice.
The skinny soldier.
I hate that skinny soldier.
Plant his dagger in the old man. The old man barely have a chance.
Look at me, I'm shaking my head there too.
To say anything. And he's just gasping. And you know this blow was lethal.
How do I know that, Max?
The bow
Because you're
creaks
experienced.
as I draw it back full. My eyes steady. I let loose.
I'm far from being perfect. Right?
He didn't expect that, so he doesn't have any
at
chance
that
to
shit.
react.
9 hits.
How about 9 hits?
I changed also the way range.
He wasn't like
works.
ready to dodge you. He thinking you fast asleep. So the arrow, like so,
No, I'm giving too
They're
much
obvious.
exposure. Talking
The
too
arrow
much.
Already?
It
Like half a sentence.
zips through the air.
Should- Crispy should just say
fletching of the white feathers making a distinct noise.
We both want to over describe.
Yeah. You guys are doing a
Any-
good job, though. Look at that.
Look at all those fucking like.
It's 10 damage.
Boom. Is 10 damage good?
Oh yeah, that's a straight up killing blow.
the arrow get the guy right. in
Anytime
the
you
back,
see
right in the spine,
that shit.
straight through his chainmail. Link bursting at this distance with this good shot that you had. It stood no chance. He just all up back and fall back on his back.
See, you already killed one guy there. That's
Getting
fast.
my charge in into the larger. I
Trying to
remember when that combat was that I'm thinking of. So,
Well,
you know,
I'm
it
doing
might have been like a
Any-
totally earlier.
With the commotion of like the shot going,
I think it was in the test.
the yelling of his mate dying.
Yeah, I think it was a test.
In
He's turning
session
around
0.
just in time to see you charge and trying to defend himself.
And the trash dice. compared to
Unfortunately,
quick-
barehanded.
saving all my dice, I guess. It's the
Well, now you're doing a charge, so you kind of like to do. No, that was a good, okay roll because you're doing a charge, right? So you have to.
Oh, you
have
get
at least one
bonus
success to run.
successes. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have at least one success to run, and then you have to do your attack, right? So that was just like, yeah, I'm not falling on my face while running,
Mm-hmm.
and
Got a good 3 out of that, though. That's nice.
Yeah.
So,
double describing. Yeah, I did
Ye-
over describe.
Once you charge out, like when you get a chance to defend.
Mhm.
What's my
longer
noise
weapon.
breaking now?
So you get to you get to defend, but it's not a so you can roll
I'm
your
trying to
damage.
explain the rule now as well, right? So
yeah, this is a playtest. 6.
Yeah.
Piercing. I know, 6 slashing.
slashing.
Should be piercing. Right. But I didn't give myself malice. So.
Oh.
The
Slashing across his back.
yeah, like now you're doing it better. Like almost slashing against his cross, so you could like also like describe the type of damage through your action.
Your
Pierce
blade
through his soul.
hit him pretty strong on his chainmail.
Pretty strong.
Again, you slice through it, and blood pour.
So he
But
made
he's
him
still
bleed.
standing.
Still standing. You never even felt it.
I could have like described him grunting, right?
I don't know. I just love listening to descriptions.
Okay.
So I don't really care. I think you're doing great.
And nah, I think I could do better.
Of
I
course.
suck, and I'm blurry on top.
That's what I really mean. Yeah.
I reach
I mean,
into
I
the
just-
quiver and
yeah.
pull out another arrow.
Obviously,
knock it
my
on the
turn
bow,
to shit.
I think the initiative thing works. though.
walk
What?
briskly
I think the initiative card.
towards
I think that works.
my cousin,
Oh, yeah. It's great.
but then take a tangent so I can get an angle on this last guy.
I love VTTs.
So I do. I'm about to say something, but just then announcing exactly where I am.
Yeah, you can. Now there's commotion in the camp as well. Everybody's like waking up, woman crying.
I yell out, "Murderers!"
Women crying as usual.
You can get a clear shot on this guy. It's gonna be fairly easy.
Why I'm talking so much?
One more time. I take my sword and plunge it deep into.
Yes, and he's there looking at you,
Sounds like I'm talking
barehanded.
about.
You didn't have time to draw any weapon.
Sounds like I'm
So
talking
he's
about
gonna try
piercing
to
this time.
brawl you of your sword.
Yeah, you want to pierce that guy, which is not a bad thing because he's wearing chainmail. So it's probably the right move.
Okay. Still at a good long enough range for my flambers to be effective.
Yep.
Spirit
Yeah,
World.
so you can't barely do anything. Like that's something also like when we always say like stay where you are, say what you do, right? In that system, like the stay where you are would work very well, saying like, well, I'm 2 steps away from the guy. Also, I got something I changed. I didn't have like the step system.
Yeah,
I just
it
called,
was like
the meter.
middle, long.
Yeah,
and
well,
short.
there's still like there's still long, middle, and medium and close, but it's like if you're toe to toe, you're close range. If you're 1 step away, you're medium range. If you're 2 step away, you're long range, right? So you can easily I'm 2 step away from that guy, or I'm in long range with that guy, and it's like so it can allows you to remind everybody at the start of your combat exactly where you're positioned and position
Yeah,
in the
I
world.
would make it sound better like staying at a longer range or staying in mid-ranged.
Yeah, or stepping in. Well, you can vary it. That's also the thing, right? I move like I shift 1 step forward, getting into the mid range.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
Perfect range for my long sword. So, but
yeah, I want to play Bastard Sword.
So
I wish I had. I wish that I have played 6 other Bastard Sword games. I don't know why I'm not playing Bastard Sword right now. Just
because the guy got these shoes.
Dumping into the plunging it into his gut. I gotta get you back into cocaine or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I got this manic depressive kind of thing.
Went
right?
through the mail. Eat some flesh.
Anything for the game, Max.
The guy is in bad shape.
He's looking at you, starting to blood coming out of his mouth.
My eyes are wide. You gonna keep tweaking stuff? This is a whole game. Blood on his back injury. What's the date on this game?
Did we did a tweaker on that already? 8 months ago.
Maybe.
Yeah, we did a tweak. I think didn't we tweak it?
I don't know. We were doing them much more often in this time.
Yeah. Kind of dropped that show.
Dropped the ball on that.
Yeah. Someone say free cocaine. It wasn't free, but we don't get ahead of yourself.
My face. You gotta have 5 on it as the
5 what?
I don't know. 5
walk a little closer.
Dollars.
Call out to him.
$5 cocaine. It's all
I don't know. I never did cocaine.
Surrender.
It's a psychedelic guy.
We have you.
Yeah. Not a cocaine guy either.
Bow at the ready.
He just respond to you. Fuck you.
Be that
I don't
way.
want to watch this anymore. Let's watch something else.
Right to the back of my anchor point, full draw.
This isn't what I was talking about. I think I was talking
Angry at
about the
how this has
playtest.
transpired.
Yeah. So that's not what you're talking about when it was too long.
Yeah, it was like me and Crispy was like out in the grass or something.
And we had Rick as
It
well.
was like taking long shots. Maybe.
Yeah, in the playtest, and then Rick couldn't make it to the game, or
yeah.
But all right, stop sharing. I'm gonna share something else.
We're gonna share.
I want to show you what I've been. I don't know. I'm gonna show you some Bastard Sword stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to go through our old catalog?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm excited to share what I've been working on.
Okay. I'm excited to see it. So this is gonna. Are you gonna show me your city creator? City character creation?
Yeah, but I'm gonna show you something else before.
Okay.
Because I want to keep the. Well, the city stuff you kind of saw already, right? Just like
Some of it.
share screen. This one, bam.
But what about the folks at home, Max?
Well, that's on them for being I don't know.
For not being me.
for not being in. And
You
all
guys
the
should have tried
details.
being me more.
Yeah. So I changed something on the character sheet, right? I cut them some skill, as you can tell. So now there's a little bit fewer skill.
Okay.
I got rid of the
So
housecraft
few
categories.
now.
What?
You said there's so few now. It's like,
You think so?
no,
There's still a lot.
it is still a lot.
Well,
Let
I got
me
rid of the
see which
housecraft
ones I would
category.
get rid of.
Yeah.
There's so many. I can't even read them all. There's so many.
You want me to?
I told you
zoom
I'm bad at reading.
in? Is that big enough?
It's big enough for me. Because my monitor is huge.
I can make another step for the people at home,
For the folks.
for the folks at home. Yeah. Oh, but I cannot
Like
fit it
them.
all. Some Bill is asking where there's so many skill, right? Because I like to cover a lot of stuff, and also I allow myself to give you more skill because you gain experience per skill by using the skill themselves, right? So it's not a choice that you it's not a choice that you have, like, oh, do I put a point in there? Do I put a point in there, right? You don't have to make that choice. And also there's a lot of and also like the skill family that they are. Once you got 3 skill in the same family that have at least 1 point, they all go down by 1, and then the skill family get 1 point, and that's added to every skill in the family. So there's kind of like transversal knowledge, I guess. So if you get 1 point in climbing, 1 point in jumping, 1 point in lifting, they all go back down to 0, but athleticism go up to 1. So now like everything has 1, right? So it allows you to, so having more skill give you a chance to get those, to raise those families sometime by on the side a bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if there's more or less
Yeah.
skills in the family. It's still, if you have 3,
Yeah,
then everything goes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the family with the more skill in it, they're gonna go up faster, I guess.
Even
right?
with crafting, would you do that?
Yeah, crafting. Yeah. Got 6. Yeah. They all have between 4 and 6.
Yeah, I was just thinking like crafting is kind of a very specialized skill, Maybe it isn't.
It's also not like you're an adventurer, right? It can come handy to be able to craft, but it's not the main thing you should be able to do. You should do either, right? So sometimes those kind
Don't
of
tell
like
me don't tell me what to
skill-
play, Max. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm playing my gem cutter
Yeah. Okay.
/ heraldry
Yeah.
guy.
But it's also like it's crafting at some point. Like you're gonna get good with your hand, and you know how to use a tool, right? So
Right.
if you do like, so you want to swing a
I don't
hammer.
mind it at all. Yeah, I'm totally
Yeah.
fine with it. I like generalized, getting better at things more generally. Versus like a very simulationist, I guess. With that, I can't
Yeah.
think of a better word for it.
Bill say like, at what point does it become bookkeeping the game? What are we getting out of having 5 skill under toughness? Is the toughness skill? The toughness is not a skill. Toughness is a skill family. So you never roll the family per themselves. You always roll the skill under the family. But the rank of the family is added to every skill in the family. So that's how it is, right? So the 5 skill.
Yeah, toughness is probably the most bloated of the families, I would say. Toughness and resilience. I don't know if
you think so?
I would. Well, I don't know if I'd do without, but it's fine.
Because they all do
you want toughness and you want resilience.
Yeah, and they do kind of different stuff too, right? Just like
sure they do different stuff.
Like resisting disease not the same as resisting pain, or
resisting exposure, resist fatigue, resist hunger. I
Yeah.
feel like those could all be under a family called resilience, but I guess that's what it is. So
That's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, you don't. I would rather just increase the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Arun said skill family might be a bit arbitrary. Well, I tried them not to be. They all things that are linked together in some way.
Maybe somehow you could combine toughness and resilience.
I could if I
one
would like
family.
get rid of a lot of skill, right? A lot of skill under them.
Yeah.
But which skill, like, which should I cut, right? Just like I feel
Maybe
they all have their use.
move ego into influence.
Nah, it's different.
Okay.
It's used differently in the game.
How's it used?
It's like when somebody like is if somebody's trying to intimidate you, or somebody's trying to or if you it's to resist giving up, resist like the mind game and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
It's not about like influencing somebody else. It's about like you not being defeated. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think your
ability, and they say it goes better by going by some stat, like increasing mental ability, increasing like the stats, the attributes, they determine the type of dice you roll, and the skill determine the number of dice you roll. So there's link in both there.
Yeah, so I would say I think ego, like resisting being lied to, resisting being intimidated, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would expect that would have more to do with being able to do those things than it would have to do with like holding your breath or resisting hunger. You know what I mean?
Sorry. Say it again.
I said being able to resist social intimidation, influence, stuff like that. I feel like that ties more into being able to do those things than it does into like holding your breath or resisting hunger, things like that. You see what I mean? And then you could fluff out influence into a 5 skill category like most of the other ones.
But I feel like all those like
holding breath holding,
it's a bit weird.
I'm just saying, like, that would be one I would get rid of if I was. So yeah. I'm just telling you how I would do it. Okay, move ego into influence. Get rid of breath holding. Get rid of like, I don't know what I would do though. Maybe pain. Resist pain is interesting. So is there like can you describe resist pain like a practically, or like how it's used in the game?
You can use it to shrug off wounds, minor wounds. You can take your turn to just like shrug off a wound, right?
Okay, so it's like a skill check you would use your dice on to like reduce malice and stuff.
Yeah. And like get rid of injury. Basically, it's like it's like, oh, that was just a scratch, right? Just like kind of thing in you. But
when you're shocked on your turn, is like the only thing you can do is resist shock.
No, you can you can just like be shocked, right, and do whatever you want, but you can have the malus.
Okay.
Or you can take your turn to
all right, shock just gives malice.
Yeah. You can try to take your turn to say, I'm just like gonna clear my head, right? Basically, there's a lot of things you can do that other than attack on your turn, right? If you got like some negative like condition and stuff like that, you can take your turn to and also like resist pain is also like if you somebody torture you, stuff like that, you're gonna use that. Shock can also be if you fall, you can resist shock.
So you could like resist shock. Shock's only like for like a turn, right?
No.
Is that changed?
That's changed, yeah.
Okay.
It's for a scene. You get rid of
what I was going to say is you can use those resilient that family bonus for some of these instead of using an actual skill. I don't know if you'd want to do that because there's no I guess there's no attribute to the family.
It's like everything's a skill roll.
Yeah.
basically, right?
Yeah.
That's something I wanted to do, like everything, like except like the damage roll, which
Mhm.
also work as a skill roll basically. But I wanted to like every roll you do is kind of like the same kind of thing you do.
You took
And
dancing out of Grace? What are we doing?
No, it's an arts.
Yeah. Wasn't it in Grace before?
No,
Oh,
it's always been in arts.
move it over.
To Grace?
Yeah, I don't know.
I see the point. I see why. It would
I just
also
I
belong-
like them to be 5s. It's freaking me
Yeah.
out that there's 4s and 6s.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upsetting.
The Elias ask resist shock is when you take a high level of damage, or have a, no, it's like it's
Shock
bludgeoning
is a
damage.
condition.
Basically. Yeah, stun is
in
a
the
condition,
game.
right? Yeah, can also be like if somebody like fire a gun in a enclosed space because there's gun, right? There's black powder. You're also gonna get
Is there
stunned.
trains too?
No, there's no trains.
Very good.
Don't be silly.
Yeah.
And what was I saying? Yeah. When it comes to running the game, the number as to know all of the skill. The runner has to know all of the skill that the list of human can keep in mind.
Why would they have to know all the skills?
Yeah, you don't need to have to know all the skill. You know what? Like we just usually like say, like, just give me a roll, and then say, then the player decides what to roll.
The player's gonna roll.
Yeah.
Roll a skill that they have, and they're gonna look at their sheet.
Yeah.
Know what to roll.
Yeah, and also like they organize because they're organized in family. You kind of know also like if you just have to know the family, and then you can quickly take a glimpse at it, right?
But that criticism is fair for combat, I would say, with all of the different number of maneuvers. Like if you're doing that conversational style, you really need to know what the heck the other person's talking about.
Bill say like if the rank of the skill are added to family, you're basically rolling a toughness roll with a specialization. And at some point, like I debated calling the family skill and the one under specialization. But then I went the other way.
I talked him out of it.
Yeah, Phil talked me out of it. Stop that.
I don't know why we decided family was good, but it was like related to theme.
Because you don't roll the you would always roll a specialty, right? You don't roll toughness, you roll like resist pain, which is part of toughness. So it'd be weird to not roll the scale,
attributes that you're going to be rolling. And every skill has its own set of attributes you're going to be rolling. That's what those 2 letters are in parentheses.
Yes, exactly.
So to determine the dice you're going to be rolling.
Yeah. So even if they're in the same family, they can have different attribute too.
Mm-hmm. That's why that's why what I was saying wouldn't work out. Because the toughness and resilience don't have attributes associated with them. Almost all of them are CP on resilience and CC on toughness, though.
Yes,
which is interesting
because they make sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like and that's the big difference, right? The resilience is a lot about your persona, right? About your force of character and shit like that.
Yeah, I remember before you were talking about wanting every skill to have different attribute combinations or something.
They all have like the one that makes sense,
right?
Or that I feel makes sense.
I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, like I could probably cut some skill again. I don't know if I would gain that much from it, because also if I like when you make the skill more broad in some sense, right? It becomes like sometimes like, oh, okay, which like now for that one thing, what skill would be up? Because like you have the broad skill, they're gonna have more overlap, right? They're gonna be more. It's not gonna be as clear cut as what skill to use.
And I think it's important to note that Max is not trying to get a streamlined game. Like that's not the point.
No, exactly.
He wants a complex game that is able to be played fluidly.
Yeah, that is a bit to be role played. Exactly. I'm trying to avoid doing a role light games.
So lots of ability to get into nooks and crannies to get some juice out of a theme and stuff.
Yeah, I want a game that you can get a lot of juice from it, right? Like from like you don't say, well, you know what? Now I press that fruit already, and like I've played it, right? That's something like at some point we play like if you were to do like a bunch of easy D6 game, for example, right?
Right.
Staying in the fantasy genre, right? Like as the book is written, right? At some point, right, you played like 3 or 4 class, and you kind of did all the class. You kind of did all the class that you wanted to play with. You pick a few inclination and stuff like that, and you kind of like went around the one that you find interesting. Because it's a role-like game.
Maybe you should make characters. I don't like that you're making that point, Max. That's
no, yeah,
you're gonna make character, and it's gonna be what it should have.
Yes, you almost have to think about the character concept and then like fit a class to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you should do with every game.
Yeah. Oh, like Bill said, like I'm imagining the skill being used. I'm struggling imagining the skill being used. What justify a roll of a particular skill? If I'm role playing a guy speaking poetically, does that mean I have to ask the GM to make a poetry roll? You never ask the GM for a roll. You don't ever ask the GM for a roll, right? The GM can ask you to make a roll, or you can just roll on yourself and then like role play the result of the roll. But don't go, oh, can I make a? That'd be bad form.
Can I make a poetry roll here?
What?
Yeah, you don't want to find yourself saying, "Can I make a poetry roll here?"
No.
So that would be.
But stuff like the art skill are very useful because there's the spirit mechanic that your spirit is gonna get depleted, and sometimes like you have to do pleasant thing to regain your spirit. That's an important way to regain the spirit, right? So you're at the campfire and somebody like start playing music. Then that's gonna help like people like clear some condition and regain some spirit and stuff like that, right? So then there's rules for that. And same thing. One thing you can do for that is like read poetry, right? Or recite poetry. So it's something you can do it's like almost like a downtime action if you want, that you can roleplay if you want, but you can just say like, oh, we're all sitting at the fire, drinking and eating, and I start recite the tale. And then like you make your poetry roll, and then people can regain some spirit because they're inspired, right?
Yeah.
It's a big theme of the game, actually. Or you can dance with your friend and regain spirit. Yeah.
I really want to make a character with falconry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a hunting.
Then you can hunt you can hunt with a bird of prey.
Be badass. I've never made a character like that.
Yeah.
Also, you told me you hated 13th Warrior, but I just saw that. There's a dude with a falcon.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Like there would be like some case like you could like the GM could ask a roll, right? If you do something specific. But usually like the GM should just be like, give me a roll, and it should be clear what skill to roll by the action you're doing, right? Just figure it out.
Right. The GM doesn't say, give me this roll.
Yeah.
Unless it's important. Yeah, exactly. But usually it'll say, give me a roll, and then you get to pick.
Yeah. But if you
what you're about to do.
If you're like, oh, you're in a meeting, you're there, like, and you get a feast, and the princess is there, and say, I stand up and I start like I'm trying to impress them, and I'm gonna recite some poetry and stuff like that, because you try to impress the people present. Then yeah, you make your poetry roll, and then like based on that.
So I'm making an etiquette roll there.
Yeah,
probably because I'm not reciting poetry, like some idiot.
Like some idiot.
Who stands up in the middle of a ball and starts reciting poetry? Get out of here.
Yeah. Insult is a skill, yes, and you can use it even in combat to taunt people and provoke them, right? You make an insult roll, like, and you can role play it, but then like you make your roll, and that's also going to determine how they react to it. So yes, insult is a skill.
All right. So what are you wanting to show me here, man?
The next thing I want to show you on that, like, so I see like, yeah, so I got some skill.
Yeah.
The condition that I showed you as well, right? This is a new thing.
Yes. Okay, so it's not shock; it's stunned.
It's stun. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I should rename the skill to resist stun.
If that's what it's for.
It's mostly what it's for. Yeah, that's something I probably should do. Yeah. can you stack skill? Not really. Usually, you roll a skill. There's a way that other people can help you, but usually with the same skill, you don't like skill don't really mix in that game. I don't have any mechanics for that. Yeah. So the condition, right? So this wasn't one way that I had to for lingering maluses to track them, right? And I wanted to.
This is where the math comes in.
Is it very matty?
It's the little red line at the bottom of conditions.
Yeah.
Is I know it's just like a tooltip, so it's helpful for that. So I'm probably just being a bitch, but I don't know. It's not really mathy.
Because
I'm
like
just complaining.
we talked about, like, now you have like malus dice, right? That's which are a thing. Right? They're the D4, but instead of giving you success, they take away success on 3 or 4, right? But like I wanted to cap that because I don't want to have you roll add 6 other dice to your roll, right? Just like that.
Are they 50-50s? Is that? Oh yeah, because it's 3.
Yes. Yeah, it's 3 and 4. Yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first 3 malus you get, you add malus dice. The next 3 malus you get, they just take away success straight away. And if you get more than that, then you lose spirit point, and then you start taking injuries. So I wanted in a sense like cap malus and say like, well, don't, you should try to avoid stacking up too many malus. Having 1 or 2 is no big deal because or even 3, because then you're just gonna have like those malus dice, right? Which cannot affect you at all. Can affect you a lot, right? Just like our 3 successes is quite a bit.
Yeah, but you're saying you want to avoid it, like you want to avoid bleeding. Like, yeah, I probably want to avoid bleeding and hunger.
Well, they all are malus, right? In the sense that
right.
You just like count all the dot in there, right? Just like it doesn't like it's not per line, right? So if you have like 1 point of afraid and 1 point of bleeding and 1 point of hungry, you have 3 malus. And then you can try to deal with some of them, right? You can say, well, I'm just gonna eat something, and then like, well, there you go, you get rid of your hungry stuff. Probably hard to do during combat.
I'm sucking on a button.
Yeah,
it's the thirsty trick.
Yeah,
put a button in your mouth.
Yeah, and I've seen Cube.
Oh yeah, Cube. Yeah, that's what that's from.
Yeah. So I thought this would be a way to simplify something, because then also it means that the wound injury that had been cut down a lot, because now like all the bleeding and all the stun is dealt here, right? In this section. And there's a lot of dot, so I think it's a bit scary.
I guess if you're getting like
but
6,
you should only have like a few of them ticked.
Yeah, maybe you should have less than 6.
You think so?
I don't know. What do you think?
I like you being able to bleed a lot, or to be stunned a lot, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And if you cap out stun, right, you're just gonna have the 3 dice malus and the 3 success malus.
I keep wanting to make your paper look better, but who cares?
I'm not there yet, either, right?
Yeah,
I'm not there yet. No, I just need something functional for now, right?
Right.
Yeah. Bill said like, it's too bad there's no eloquence skill. I guess I'll never be able to find out how eloquent my character is. Well, don't make me add skill now.
There's lots of intrigue skills though.
Yeah, you can.
But you're right.
And you have persuasion too, right? Yeah. Let me stretch that a bit. You have like persuasion,
etiquette.
You have poetry, etiquette. So you can like, and so your eloquence, you need to kind of like break it down how it transpire, I guess. So that's a big change, right? The condition thing, and you can still have malus.
He should have an eloquence skill. Think about it.
I'll think about it.
Put in your
And,
resilience just to mix it up.
Yeah, and you can still have malus that are not conditioned, but those are going to be like the one that are just for this role, right? Just for like if you attack somebody out of range, stuff like that, right? So those are
So
for the
those
lingering.
malices aren't going to give you injuries, right?
They can.
If someone's out of range of your weapon,
Well, it's not necessarily, because all the malus are mixed together, right? Like if you have like 3 stun and your 3 burden, right? So now you're gonna have like those 3 malus dice and the 3 success malus, but you also attack somebody out of range, right?
yeah.
Then, well, that would be like a lose. Like
You're saying like you're
getting in 3, you need to have a lot, right? Right?
Is it? Are you exerting yourself if you try to shoot someone out of range?
Yeah, like it's up to you to describe, like if you and you know you have to you need to get like a 10 malus and more to get injuries, right? So that's quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
So you probably have some reason, like, oh, I pulled something on my back because my backpack is so heavy, right? When I was doing my move to strike with my sword,
Right.
or I was or my bleeding wound aggravated because I stretched myself a bit too much, or I my ankle, like I what's the fucking word I'm looking for? I strained my ankle.
Yeah.
Right? It's up to you to describe how this injury take place. But
all right.
Yeah.
So a success malice is just take a success away.
Yes.
Spirit loss is just take a spirit away, and health is just
yes. Okay. And all the injury, they need to be on the same line. So there's that thing as well, right? Just like,
do the malice dice still take away from your dice max?
No.
Okay.
No. Also, like the spirit, it used to be like 4-time Constitution plus persona, or 3-time Constitution plus persona. Now it's just Constitution plus persona, so you have much less. So losing a spirit point is much more significant.
Mm-hmm.
But also getting a bonus dice from spirit, spending your spirit for bonus dice is just 1-for-1 now. So that's also cut out of the math.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna make things much easier and being equivalent. So those are a big change I had on that.
Cool.
I redid also, like for you, I redid the player aids, so you'll be able to follow along.
This is the part I was talking about, Bill.
What?
The maneuvers.
Yes, I changed a few things in the control effect. I added like the offense strike there, right? I added the exhaust, which you just take a spirit point away from, and this is kind of like if you have nothing really to do with your, you have 1 hit left, you don't really have anything to do, or you don't want to kill the guy, you just want like to make him tired and stuff like that. Did I correct the spelling of maneuver yet? Maybe not.
You misspelled opponent.
Did I? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, I need to take a note of that. It's typo. Happen. I'll correct them at some point. Those are working document. They're not final, like ready to be published, right? It's pre-alpha.
Of course.
Yeah. And also you have to remember that sometimes I spell thing not in an American way because I'm not American. That's how we spell opponent in Canada.
Yeah.
Like no, but no, but I put you in armor, right? And color and stuff like that, right? Just like just the correct way to spell stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is a way to spell things.
Yeah. So I got the exhaust when you can like take away spirit from the opponent, and I got the offense strike, which is used to be a maneuver, but now I put it there, and I think it's a bit clearer. That you can just do like an unarmed strike, and
I tried to make that work. I think make an attack with a second weapon with 1 die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you are,
that's kind of like confusing.
Is it?
Yes.
Also, obviously, also like
so you use one of the dice.
I explain it better also in the rules, because that's the player aid. So it's like I'm shrinking it to like you're supposed to know the rules already, right?
Mhm.
You're not supposed to, that's not meant to learn the rules. It's
Right,
just like, oh
right,
yeah,
right.
okay, that's how it works, right? But it's like let's say
Take
you have
a
like
hit.
you spend let's say like
This is
let's say you
usually a
spend
defensive maneuver, right? I think that's what you're supposed to.
yes, it's most useful with the defensive maneuver, or if you have like two weapons that do different things, like you have a dagger in your hand and a sword, right? They have different
Mhm.
range. So maybe you want to do like maybe you want to do a strike with your dagger now for some reason, instead of or you have a mace and a dagger, right? And the mace wouldn't be effective because of the type of armor you got. So now you want to strike with your dagger. You could do that, right?
Mhm.
So let's say you can spend like, let's say it's one hit, but you can spend multiple hits on the same maneuver, on the same control effect, right? So if you spend like 3 hits on that, then you can roll up to 3 dice for this offense strike, depending if your skill is high enough, right? So it's basically a second attack
Mhm.
with free hand or with a
I gotcha.
I changed range attack, but that's a bit much to go in there now. So Crispy won't get like 10 hit on. Yeah, mirror making, that's what I was thinking about, like talking about earlier, right? Playing music, singing, dancing, poetry recital, feasting. They're a way to clear some condition and to regain spirit. You have to clear like the angry or afraid condition.
So you're playing the music in combat there to remove afraid. That's kind of cool.
You could. But afraid also like goes away if you get rid of the source of fear. But there could be like some magical effect on stuff like that make you afraid, not go away, right? Like you're in a region that is an aura of fear all over, right? You get what I mean?
Can we talk about this?
What? Yeah. Yes.
Did you already highlight this?
Did I? No, I don't. I think I wanted, but I didn't think.
If you are RPing, how is there a need for a poetry roll? Shouldn't I RP the poetry? This is enough skills. We are squarely in the you can only do what the rules describe territory.
Because like the poetry, unlike in many game, the poetry does have mechanical effect here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So rolling for poetry will impact how much spirit is regained by the people, right? So there's that. And
it's hard to RP the poetry.
Well, yeah, it's not easy. But also one thing I often say, right, is that I'm a big advocate of rolling before you describe your action, right? And that's what I'm often say. Like, I say,
especially
like,
social roles.
Yeah, and I let player like roll. Like I'm not a guy I'm not a GM that say like only roll when I tell you, right? No, you can make if you want to do something, and you know there's a skill for it, right? You can roll for it, and then if you roll well, describe yourself doing well, and if you roll like shit, describe yourself rolling like shit, right? It's role player role, right? It's like you make the role, and then you make your role play based on that role.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I usually see things. Maybe they don't.
I don't know. Sorry. Where do you draw the line? If social skills have a right to exist at all, they have a right to splitting up by specialization.
Yeah, I agree with that. And and like I said, I try to make them meaningful. I try to make them, yeah.
Maybe they don't have any need to exist. Maybe the GM rolls to react. It says just RP interaction. I don't see the justification of half these skills.
What I don't like the thing that I don't like when I don't like when things are too divided. Like that's one thing I have like with the like I was talking about that with Zonalar, right? In D&D 5e or in D&D in general, right? You have those spells. And then if like one player uses a spell, but then like the player doesn't roll, now the target of the spell need to roll to resist and stuff like that. So it's hard not to communicate the mechanics for that. because it's like if the target of the spell doesn't know what the spell does, right? Even if I manage in role play to communicate that I cast Entangle, right? Which is one example I sing, and now like the target has to do a resist strength check. How can I fucking explain that, right? If the people don't know the detail of Entangle,
Right.
how can I communicate that without being super so this
DC
thing, like, oh, no,
14.
yeah, exactly. Like, and now like I have to
You kind of have to
give them my spell resist. So there's this thing as well, right? That I'm trying to solve also, in a sense.
more in-character system discussion.
Yeah.
This is a good point a little bit here. Wait, not this one. I'm sure it's also a fantastic point, but since you have so many skills, there's less room for more of an improvisational use of a skill to cover a thing that you might think up that isn't a skill. You know what I mean? Where like you might want to. It's more appropriate to roll like a family rather than a skill. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, but you like
the eloquence check was a good example. Like there's no real.
There's no drawback of just like, pick the most appropriate skill in the family, because you're gonna add the rank of the family anyway, right? So there's no drawback to it if you want to do like something that is kind of like there's not really something to cover it, right? So
there is. I'm kind of reminded of World of Darkness a little bit, where like you pick the attribute skill to fit the appropriate role. So like in this situation, you could potentially pick the family and then the two attributes that are appropriate. You know what I mean? Let's just say like make a intrigue, strength, agility roll or whatever. I don't know. It seems like a lot of talk. But
if you were to do like I have so many skill, you probably can find something that
that's the problem. What if it's not on the list?
Find one that is not in the list.
Eloquence.
Eloquence, you roll persuasion.
Yeah. I'm not really trying to persuade anyone. I'm just trying to sound fancy.
Then roll etiquette in intrigue.
I'm in a bar. I want to sound fancy in a bar.
You want to sound fancy in the bar?
Yeah.
Do you even need to roll for that?
I mean, you're right. It's pretty encompassing.
Like, just find a one, because also like that's the thing too, right?
Well, let me think about it.
When you use a skill, at the end of when the tempo change, right? You can put an experience point in the skill you use.
Say that last part one more time.
You can gain, like, every time the tempo change, right? You can put an experience point in a skill you used.
Okay.
If you use the skill. So why you want to have like, when you have like this thing of I don't want to use any skill, right? Just like, no, use your skill. That's how they're gonna get better.
I mean, I'm talking about an entire change of your, like, the way your game is designed, where you just get rid of all the skills. Only have families.
Arun got one there. Pottery. You got me there. I have nothing for pottery. I don't have a pottery skill. If you want to make a pot,
it's all kinds of crafting you're totally spacing on.
Yeah, you can either use laboring or masonry. I don't care. Yeah,
but what I'm talking about is, could there an alternative exist where you get rid of your skills, only have the families? I probably wouldn't call them families anymore. Just call them skills, and then attach an attribute to it.
But you're the one that talked me out of that.
Did I?
Yeah. But also, if you do that, like if I let you roll just the family, then I need to have you gain experience for the family. But then also, like, it goes against the concept of like those transversal skills that the family grow by growing the skill underneath.
Yeah.
Right. So And I think that's a cool thing. I think it's cool. That's something I like. I like the system that you use the skill, then you just get an experience point in it. And at some point, the whole family is gonna go up if you use a few skill in the family, right?
Excuse me.
Yeah. Space Rudy said detect motive is cancer, and he's going on a road.
Detect motive is cancer. What about detect cancer?
Detect cancer.
That's first aid.
Medicine. It's medicine.
Medicine. Okay, good.
Yeah. And why you have medicine and first aid? People say they're different. There are different applications. They often
People
have
say
the same. Yeah, they often no. I don't know. People can ask that. They have like there's definitely overlap between the two, right? Between medicine and first aid.
Right.
But a big difference is like first aid. Usually you have to do like it's something you have to do in one roll, and you either get it or you don't. In medicine, you can do like rolling tests, so you can like accumulate success over time. It's something you can work over time, and yeah.
Okay, let's address Bill again here.
Yeah. Oh wait, sorry, I was about to.
Go ahead.
Arun, so my only criticism is I see Power Gamer trying to use like 100 skill at once, like that Catamaran game, or where you all wrote while seeking things to do. You can every time the tempo change.
Oh, Katamari.
Katamari. Every time the tempo change, you can put one skill in one experience point in one skill you use. So you don't put one experience point in every skill you use. You pick one that you use, right? So, and I say it should be one that is kind of like that you use meaningfully. So, but I'm not super stickler on that. If you play with the Power Gamer, right, then they're gonna break the game anyway. So,
yeah, you've already failed.
Yeah. So in combat, right? In combat, you're gonna be like what I call action tempo, right? And now you're gonna use a bunch of skill. And then when combat ends, then you can pick one skill that you use during combat. So it could be your sword skill. If you did a resist pain check to shrug off some wound, it can be that. If you try to taunt somebody and you use your insult skill, it can be that. So you pick one, and then you get an experience point in that.
I think I'm starting to be one of the people that says that you shouldn't have medicine and first aid.
Why?
Because they're so similar, you know.
Maybe that's one I could cut.
Yeah.
But I don't like.
It's okay.
Right, I don't see I don't see a lot of benefit on cutting one, right?
Exactly. I agree. Okay.
You wanted to address Bill again?
Do I want to address Bill again? Okay, I do.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I want to see what Eli says. I prefer skill-based games to have a generic skill list, allow specializations to add another die. For example, alchemy. That's why you love World of Darkness, Elias.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wanted to do
Eli.
I wanted to do something different, right? Because like that wouldn't work with what I'm trying to do with like the skill growing by usage and having those family growing up by the skill inside them, right?
Is this one of those trade-offs? Is this one of those darlings of yours?
I think it's a cool system. It
is a cool system
that we didn't. I never saw somewhere else. So I want to try it. Yeah.
Okay. The separation between skills
and it's unusual. Yeah. Like that's also like that's also something people have to understand. I'm trying to do a new game with new mechanics.
Right.
Right. So I'm not trying to redo Pathfinder. I'm not trying to redo
World of Darkness,
any fucking D100 that everybody fucking does. Right. I'm not trying to.
Space Roadie is in the chat, Max. How dare you?
No, but like that's what I mean. Like people don't want to make games, right? I'm trying to bring new mechanics to the world, right? I'm trying to bring something new. Like I don't need another OSR game. I don't need another D20 game. So, and obviously, with that territory comes things that people that are going to be unfamiliar with people. So that's a challenge for sure. But
I think the fact that I'm having so much trouble, like thinking aside from crafting, but I think that you can probably maybe leave a couple blanks under crafting to like customize it just because it's so specialized. You know what I mean? Where you could like allow someone to create their own crafting skills if they wanted.
Yeah, but I don't think I want to go there. And I have like the
It's like
and
two
the
blanks.
laboring, the laboring skill is
Mm.
kind of like the catch-all for that, right? It's just
So
like
is that a crafting or
yes,
okay?
yeah, yeah.
Right
It's
on.
like you're doing like physical work that
Yeah.
is like kind of on the script and stuff like that. You can put that in laboring, but it's also like, and I could have like better wording, but like pottery, I would probably didn't put in masonry, right? It's everything like you have to work with dirt and rock and shit like that, right? But if you want to put
Sure,
it somewhere
laboring.
else, I don't
Why
really
not?
care. Yeah.
All right, this is the one. I guess I don't see it's difficult. I guess I don't think it's difficult to stay immersed while also occasionally talking about the role that's needed. OOC isn't poison to RPing.
Well, we disagree on that here.
I agree. It is poison to RPing.
Yeah.
So you want to minimize it as much as possible. You don't want a bunch
Yeah.
of poison.
That's one thing we try to do here, like minimize like OCC as much as possible.
Yeah. So is it difficult to stay immersed while also occasionally talking about the rules that's needed? You're definitely not immersed if you're talking about the role. Right?
No, it's taking
So you
out
want to
immersion
avoid
because
it.
you're no longer in the mindset of your character. You're no longer seeing the world through the eyes of your character. You're no
It's
longer
like a
thinking in character. Now you're back in yourself playing a game at a table, right?
right. I see it as a necessary evil sometimes.
Yeah.
But this is like a system that's trying to help avoid.
Yeah.
That,
And even if
while still staying
yourself,
crunchy.
and it's also like because like the mechanics are named and made to blend in natural language. Even if like you have to think about the mechanic a bit, at least you're not gonna drop other people out of immersion because what you're saying just describe what you're doing, right? Or where you are and stuff like that. So there's also that.
Once you have too many skills, people start to play their character sheet. That is a danger, I would agree with.
That is the danger. That I would agree.
But I think that's a player fault.
I think so.
Yeah.
I wanted to address this one. My desert nomad can swim because he can lift, jump, and climb. Yes.
Yes.
Because at some point you just become like a good athlete. You just like if you get good at swimming and good at jumping and good at climbing and good at lifting, you're probably a pretty good athletic guy.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna go in the water. You're probably gonna be decent at swimming anyway. I don't account for like learning to swim, right?
Yeah. What if you're really good at football and basketball and track, but you can't swim? Is that unusual?
Well, not if you're black.
Doing all right.
Bearing that you don't know how to swim, right? Like if you know how to swim, right?
I think you're welcome to role play a character that doesn't know how to swim.
Or
if that's what you want to do,
whatever. But like like bearing that, right? Bearing that you're not that you don't know how to swim, which human beings know how to swim instinctively. By the way, it's like when you put a baby in the water and know how to swim, like we kind of forget there's a real thing. Then you have kind of we learn, but
right
by instinct we know how to swim. So if somebody like is very good at is a well-rounded athlete and he knows how to swim well enough, he's gonna have a good body conscience and he's gonna figure out how to be efficient swimming pretty fast.
I get it. I'm into it. If you're looking at a character sheet, finding a skill that corresponds to the RP you want to have, then making a roll, then determining what you do when you RP the result you are using out of character info. Well, that's why you want a good character sheet. You just kind of know where your just know how to navigate your character sheet. It's not really that big of a hurdle, I think. This character sheet it has a lot. Is pretty busy though.
It is busy. Like at some point I'm gonna go back to it and try to like do a better job.
I would say this system you need more system mastery to play it well.
Yeah.
But it's not that difficult once you get it.
And I try to keep like things together where they need to be, right? Where they make sense, right? So like the combat stuff are pretty much all together.
Yeah,
And
it's families. But yeah, it's like you have to find it. It's like bup. And like Eli said, like you're looking at your character sheet. It's like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do?
Yeah.
And you want
That-
those
but,
are
you know-
those are some pitfalls.
and I recognize and I have to accept that there's a learning curve to this game.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like a game that you can just pick up in 15 minutes and go play, right? That's not what I'm trying to do here, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like there's like I love EZD6, and I have that for that.
Eli's
I'm trying to do
black.
something.
It turns out Eli's black.
I was very good at sport and don't know how to swim. No reason to learn. I'm gonna give you a good reason to learn. Swimming is very fun.
You could drown.
Well, you could drown too, but like swimming is great. Great. I love swimming. I'm a big water guy, right?
Yeah.
I love being in the water, being on the water. Yeah. Something maybe you don't know about me. In the summer, I go in the water almost every day. Now that I live by the sea, right?
All right, let's see.
The maneuver, right?
The GM says role etiquette. That's not more OOC interruption. I think this might be related to. Okay, let's read the first one. If you're looking at your character sheet, find a skill. Okay, we just read that.
Yeah.
And then, or the GM says role etiquette. Okay, so the GM can say role etiquette. That's fine.
Yeah. We have and usually
Yeah.
like the way we handle thing right here. Usually, what we would say if somebody's trying to do something, right? If you're just like saying, "Oh, I'm trying to impress them by like," and you're not clearly trying to achieve something, then there's probably no role really needed, right? You can just decide to try to speak eloquently, and then okay, that's fine. Like role play it, and that's fine.
Mhm.
If you try to achieve something, if you try to get something that other people are going to oppose, right? Don't want you to get or whatever, right? You try, then already you're getting into a skill, right? If you're trying to impress somebody, now like you're getting into something that what do you do, right?
What do you think about what Space Roadie says here? OC info is essential to any game. Being smart is always better than not being smart.
Yeah, well,
He's talking about like system mastery.
Yeah, you need to know the rules, and that's something we're big of advocate here, right? You need to have enough rule mastery that the system gets out of the way, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But do you want to play a crunchy game? If you do,
yes. Yeah. Sometimes I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to crunchy game. I just think a lot of crunchy game are badly designed, and I'm trying to solve that.
Yeah.
And I might fail. I might not succeed. That game might be a disaster. It's possible. Like I'm not saying like I'm gonna write it's gonna be the best game ever. Like it's I'm trying to do something good. I'm trying to make it work. And like I said, it's a question I'm trying to answer. Can you have like a more crunchy game that doesn't get in the way of role play as much and favorize role play in a sense? Maybe it's
I really enjoyed playing the game of combat in this game a lot because I liked being able to do the back and forth conversation that you're talking about. I thought that was really.
I think that's a big innovation that I have there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that it is successful in that regard, at least. I'm looking forward to making a character and playing with the skills more. I don't think we did that as much.
No. And it might be like well, also like also like in the way that we play, we don't ask for role all the time either, right? So there's that as well, right? Just like we're not a group that are obsessed about rolling every turn, and I don't think you should be.
No, I don't want to roll typically.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yep. So in the maneuver, some of the condition they did like some of the maneuver has been improved by the condition, right? Because now like intimidation, I can just say I can just say each hit aggravate the afraid condition of the target. So now I don't have to explain something that has been explained before, right? So You just like you roll intimidation. You can make it. You can defend against it. But then for your hits, he's getting afraid. That's it.
You got difficulty misspelled and intimidate there in parentheses. Difficult to.
Yeah, to be honest, I did this pretty fast, and I was tired. I just wanted to move on to something else.
Right on.
But I wanted to have that done.
I won't bother you about it.
Well, you can bother me about it when you look at it before we do a game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's better if you
Let
tell
me
me
know
on
when
Discord,
I can bother
right?
you about it.
It's better if you tell me on Discord. That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's a record.
Yeah, and then I can come back to it and fix that. So anyway, that's not change. And then like I was working on. Is that it? Yeah. So now like I have been back working on.
Ooh, you got a few now. Look at that.
A lot of them are not done.
Yeah.
Are not like are the other old stuff, right? But like if you usually like look at the first example, they're gonna be the one that are more done, right?
Yeah.
Did I zoom that? Or is that big enough?
It's big enough for me.
All right. So I have this thing, right? Like, and I told you like the character creation is based on how unique you have like a number of background point, and the cost of an option is based on how unique the option is. So I'm not going for balance here at all. It's just based on if you want to play something goofy, you can be goofy in some spot, but then you have to pick like something but then you have to you can play like some you have to pick mundane option or otherwise. And the first thing like I have is about setting, right, the theme of the game. So also like that for a race and stuff like that.
I want to be a Highland man, high man, but I'm living with the desert goblins. They treat me as one of their own. Can I make that happen?
Yes. It'd be difficult.
Yeah.
But it might be possible.
Okay, good. All right, show me what you got.
Is that treating you as one of your own is going to be the most difficult one?
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. They can hate me.
Yeah.
Except for my papa. Who's a desert
he adopted you?
Yeah. I call him Gambino.
So I did something like, let's say like you want to do like with the GMs, and the first option is like the GM pick, right? So you say we're gonna do like exploration expansion game. That's gonna be the theme of the game, and it's gonna be like border expansion, right? So we're gonna be like a game on the border. So it gives some skill that every character can pick gain 2 experience in 2 of those. So it makes sure that the party in general gonna have some experience and some skill that are gonna be useful in the campaign, right?
Oh.
So and
it's
like
kind of like a traveler thing also.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you probably don't want to hear like what this is like.
No. But no, I'm doing a life path system, so there's gonna be like some similarity there. And like with border expansion, then you're gonna have like 3 experience in every of those. So you have like some laboring and some statecraft, farming, weather lord versus fatigue, because you're basically like a settler on the frontier. And that also impact the race you can play, right? So you do border expansion, right? The Iman.
So hold on a second. Hold on. So is the GM picking these?
The GM is picking the team.
Okay, but border expansion, deep into the underworld, that stuff.
Those are the
team. Is that a GM choice?
Yes, that's a GM choice.
Okay, go ahead.
That's the sub team. Like the team is like exploration and expansion.
Gotcha.
So you get those, and then there's a sub team. It's kind of like, but what exactly, right? So you're gonna have like maritime campaign, but is it like trading? Is it pirate? That's so you're gonna have like those little like a sub team, and it affect like the the cost of.
So you're kind of. I don't know if marketing is the right word, but expecting people to do a few shot like not really long campaigns. Maybe I guess you can,
You can.
but it
And those
seems
are
like they're setting up like few shot games.
Those are like the starting team, right? Like it can change. It's just like the initial setup, right? That's gonna affect the character, your how unique your character is, right?
Yep.
But I don't know if that really influenced the direction of the campaign.
Okay, I agree.
So, and then after that is the player. Those are the player choice, right? So now you can pick a race, and the cost of the race has been influenced by the what the GM picked, right? And the GM is also invited to make his own or modify those. Obviously, if you say like I want to do a human only game, right? That's fair. But then, so if you pick a human, you're gonna experience in your some attribute. Well, in all attribute because the human is kind of like the default that goes into the middle, right? So all your attribute are gonna start like at 3, basically, or at 2, but they're probably gonna all raise to 3 as you go through your life. And I always give you like some experience to distribute freely as well. So it give you like some choice because you said that's something you liked.
Yeah, I like to be able to build my character the way I want it to be. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm giving you some stuff, and I did that with the skill as well, right? So each of those skills are gonna get 3 experience, and then you can add 6. So it's kind of a boat, right?
Yeah.
And you can add 6 to wherever you want on top in those skills.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then
the baddie.
You want to be a desert guy. So those are the
finally.
Baddie.
Yeah. Erudition. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I boosted, and now I give you like a more experience in one attribute, and there's like a secondary attribute you get a bit as well.
Yeah.
Because I found like the character were too weak, and you get those you get some point in poetry, obviously, because that's a big part of their culture.
You just had to give them poetry, didn't you, Max?
Yes. Yeah. And cool. Maybe this document is not up to date. Is it up to date? Give me a second.
I like that they have haggling.
Yeah. Well, the origin cost that should be cut because I think I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore here. I just forgot to cut it here.
Okay.
So you had those skills, right? It's when you go to origin. If we jump straight down there. Sorry, my camera is kind of in the way, to be honest, when I'm looking there. Right. That's how I'm managing the cost of origin now. So I say you grew up in a city. Then if you play like a Iman that is of the Islander type or Riverland type, it's gonna cost you 0 point because they're common in the city. So I wanted to do it this way because it's kind of tell you what the city are about, right? Uncommon, the other Iman. So like the Northerner and the Baddie, a little less common in city typically. Unusual, the Islander of the Vagrant type. Those are the merchant kind of Islander. And the Lowlander. So I use the character creation kind of to, like I said, I don't really have like an explicit setting, but I try to infer the setting through the game, to the rules, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And then again, like you gain some experience in attribute. It shifts your virtue in one way or the other. Give you a trait.
Yeah.
Which trait might be cut.
That's true.
Phil has Snow White skin, but he grew up in the desert culture. Yeah. So he has +5 against. Do you, or do you do like? Do you have to do like the sunskin? Sun. What's the name in English?
Sunscreen or suntan lotion?
They're also different, no?
I don't know. Not to me. But yeah, I actually grew up in South Texas. So
yeah. How do you know what setting to infer to the rules if you don't have a setting? How do you decide what to infer? Well, I do have a setting. I'm not just telling you explicitly. You have to figure it out. That's how I do things. You kind of have to.
If you look at it, you can see that Highlanders, Ratkins, and Goblins don't really hang out in the city much.
Yeah. And I'll do that because also I want you to have your own interpretation, right? I want you to have your own like I want you to look at the rules and say, oh, okay, I get it. I that's what I understand. And if it's not what I've seen myself, that's fine.
Yeah. But you better not bring any body into the city.
Yeah. And like, let's say you say, okay, the city I'm gonna play, like with the city, you have like you're gonna pick two feature, right? And you can say, okay, the city I'm gonna play is gonna be like in the desert, obviously, and it's gonna be crime ridden. So now like
it changes the species.
Yeah. So now like the baddie, instead of being uncommon, they become common. And the Ratkins and the scatter goblin become unusual instead of being rare, right? And the northern men become unusual. So it changed like the cost a bit of it. So there's a bit of back and forth there. Like I struggled a lot to find a way an elegant way to do it. That's the best I could do. I tried to avoid like as much possible as the book flipping and stuff like that. So now you have to come refer back up a bit, which is not ideal, but that's I
like the format of it.
Actually. Yeah. All right. So then you get all those things on top. And then it's also like change the social class. That's the next step you're gonna pick. You're gonna pick your social class. So scholar and tradesmen are one step more frequent for all race for desert, and deprive are one step more frequent for all race, and tradesmen are one step less frequent. So the tradesmen are gonna stay the same. They're gonna cancel out because of this, and then you can go to the social class next, right? So again, that's one thing that you kind of like to keep in mind. You can have a scrap paper and like note it if you want. So then you go to the social class, and
literally the next one, you probably don't have to write it down.
Yeah. And then like you just say, okay, I'm gonna be a deprived, right? I'm gonna start deprived. So you get like your bonus and shit like that. You get some skill, and then you say, yeah, I was a slave. So I was a slave in a desert city that was crime ridden. And
true.
Yeah. So that's your character there.
I'm really good at lifting, though.
What do I?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the cost. I might have just have it. I might have.
I'm not seeing any costs here.
Yeah, I think there's some update that I did. I work on my laptop sometime, and I think some of them probably didn't transfer here. Because now I'm on.
But why would you make deprived cost anything?
Well, everything has a cost. The cost can be 0, but everything has a cost.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you know, right? Just like.
Oh yeah, none of them have costs. Okay.
Yeah. Attribute. Huh. I'm curious now. Why did I miss that? This is some old stuff. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I remember what I did. Right. So it's at the end of the city. Actually, it's at the end of It's in the city thing. So you pick your feature for the city. It's crime ridden. It's desert. Now you have to scroll to the bottom, and then you're gonna pick the cost for your social class, because the cost is based on the city. It's based on the origin. And this is this is how. So it's not even like when I say like it's not even the next one. It's in the same basically like.
Yeah.
The adjustment, right? We say tradesman is more. So now you can look your I-man, and you want to be a deprived. Those are uncommon, but because you pick the feature, crime ridden, they become common. So it's gonna cost 0. So now you can go to deprive your social class. So you scroll down later, and then you get your skill there.
Gotcha.
Like it's I want to have this thing where like the previous choice influence the cost of the next thing, right? I want to have some synergy for something, not for everything. And I struggle a lot sometimes to present this information in a way that is not too clunky.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can refine that a bit later on.
Well, that chart, it needs to be. I don't know why. I think it just needs to be bigger, but it's pretty big. I noticed that goblins are tradesmen.
Yeah, goblins in the city. If and this is not like how common. It's like how, like if a goblin in the city is usually going to be a tradesman.
Yeah.
Or a deprived. Yeah, it's going to be very rare to see a goblin in the city that is a laborer.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to be a noble. And if you're a scholar, you're like the only one.
Yeah.
It's like you're unique in that sense, right?
How do I how do I make myself a Highlander noble? That's what we got to look at.
Yeah, you have to be in the. It's gonna be like you're probably gonna be in a citadel, but the Highlander also like they have like this caste system. So that's something like that's something I want to be. That's something I want to. They're kind of like a specific. You're basically born one, right? It's a bit specific for that race. They have this strict caste system. So your social class for Highlander is much more linked to your subspecies. Basically, they're kind of the same. They're kind of wrapped into one. But I need to come back to that. Like now, like I'm saying, I'm trying to get now.
Do you have another chart for village?
No, I didn't do it. Like I'm trying to have like one path from start to beginning before I can, because otherwise I have to. If I need to make change, then I have to make change to 1,000 thing, right?
Yes.
So it's not smart to do it now.
How many paths do you think you're gonna try to make?
You mean how many step or how many path?
I guess
how many options?
Settings? I don't know, like city, village.
Oh, I have a few.
To be like the major.
I have city, village, which are those are the settlement of Aymen. Then I have for the citadel for the Highlander. I have the Treff for the Lowlander. I have the Orda for the orcs. And I'm gonna have another one for the orcs that I forgot the name now, which is a village. Two other one for the desert as well, and for the desert goblin. Nice. And then I have the wilderness, and then I have like and so I have a few like origin.
Are desert goblins getting the cover? That's what I want to know.
Getting the what? The cover?
Yeah.
The cover of the book?
I feel like you need a full insert, like maybe the first page is like a big double-sided picture.
Page of a desert goblin?
The desert goblin.
I think they're pretty cool, the desert goblin.
Hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're like,
or like it's some dudes like riding their horses and the desert goblins are all like under the sheets, ready to ambush them.
In
the desert.
In the desert. Yeah, they're one that like the goblins normally are kind of like slave to the orcs. Yeah. But the desert goblin are kind of flip that on their head. So now they're running the tribes. And they're pretty evil.
Yeah.
They're like they're the meanest race. Everybody hates them.
Except for this one.
Yeah.
Who's unique.
Yes. but it's probably gonna be like give you trouble. They're darker
Yeah.
than so you can tell them on the seeing them
He's
as
the
well.
albino desert goblin.
Oh, there you go. Then you can pick some life event, right? And then you can pick any number you want.
Mhm.
But obviously, this gonna
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
affect
leave
your
you
points.
less points to pick a occupation. And the idea is that, like, you're starting
This guy
started off as
watches.
raider. Yeah,
This guy
You- you
watches.
like you're gonna start you're gonna have like a starting character that have like a very eventful life, and then maybe you start a bit younger. You got a lot of experience because you have a tough life, a lot of events, stuff like that. Not so much occupation. Or you can have like the guy that have like the more standard life, not so many events, but you're a bit older and you pick a bunch of occupations. So there's a balance there, I guess. But it's also like describe different type of character, which I think is interesting.
Well, man, I got to call it here for me. Got
All
to
right.
get to the bed.
All right, can you give me 5 more minutes? I'm gonna go through that fast.
I will give you
right?
5 more minutes.
So live events are like that's the example I have now. Like you save the fellow, so you get like some skill from drowning. You get some more skill. There you go. Right. So you can pick a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because I just want to go to the occupation as well.
It's you're not going to be saving them from drowning if they're in the desert. It's less likely.
On the oasis or in the cistern.
Yeah.
Life event, do they have a cost? They just have a cost based on. They don't really have a cost of based on nothing. Like the cost is just based like how frequent that thing would be.
Yeah.
Occupation. That's something cool. I think I have, right. You have a path of entry. So let's say you want to be an engineer, which is in the academic category. That's going to be important later. And occupation, you can pick a bunch as well. You can pick the same one multiple times if you want to go up in level, right? But if your social class is scholar, you can go straight to be an engineer. It costs you 4. If you come from a different academic occupation, then it costs you 2. If you have outstanding attitude, so like you're not from a scholarly social class, you don't have any background in academics, but you're just very smart, right? So you have like those requirements. You have to have more than 14 experience in the erudition, or you have to know some physics, or you need to know a lot of physics. And then you get like
outstanding aptitudes, like you're like a child prodigy or something, or what's going on there?
Yeah, basically, right? Okay. Or you just learn, you just pick up those skills from somewhere else, right? It's just like a way to get in it without you're just like gifted at it, basically.
I gotcha.
But you need to have like gain the experience, maybe from your life event, maybe from your origin, maybe from your social class, right? Or from your race. And then like there's some skill associated with that, but you don't gain the experience came from the level of mastery you get, right? So you can always be a student because there's no more additional requirement, and that's gonna age you from 1 year, and you can give you like those bonus. But you can decide if your physics is higher, you can go straight to initiated, but that's age you from 3 years, and then you get those thing, right? You get more experience because you spend more time, right? And master, right? So that's what I want to do as well with the occupation. You think that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm not seeing a cost anywhere. Was that
the cost is just in the path of entry there.
Okay, so you can choose to be a master if you're
yes
for
if you
no reason at all.
Let's say your social class is scholar, and you do have above 14 experience. Let's say you have like you do have above 14 erudition, right? Then you cannot be, if you have like 15 erudition, you cannot be initiated because your erudition if you have 15 physics, you cannot be initiated because it's too low.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So you might have to pick student, and then you can pick the occupation again. But now, because you come from academic occupation, engineers academic occupation, it only costs you 2, so it's staying in the same job, right? And now, because you gained the experience previously, you can probably go to initiated. Or
Okay.
if you manage to get a lot of points from somewhere else, you might go straight to master, and it doesn't cost you more, but you did spend probably elsewhere to get those points. And the cost also is it's aging you, and there's gonna be like aging thing at the end as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing with
Okay. There's a few other ones.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of those, right?
Cool.
And the next thing I'm starting to work in, but it's not gonna be here. Is the catalyst for adventure. That's gonna be the next step, which is basically like why did you become a
Call to adventure or whatever.
Yeah, the call to adventure, basically like what
Yeah.
happened that you quit what you were doing, and then the step after that is gonna be the motivation. And those are different in the sense it's like, are you motivated by money? Are you motivated by glory? Are you motivated by justice? Right? So they're more like personal, like intrinsic. And then it's gonna be finishing touch, and you're gonna be done.
Sounds like it's a rather large undertaking, sir. I'm looking forward to
character
going
creation
through
or the
yeah. Looking forward to going through that life path system, but
yeah, but like what I was trying to do is like I want you to have a character when you're done, right? You basically like you pick your choice and you get the experience based on that, and then you kind of know who your guy is, right? You can tell like you don't have to write a backstory because you kind of know, right? Oh no, like that happened in my past. Then you can flesh it out, but you have this idea, right?
Excited.
Yeah.
I just want to hit people with swords again, with a bastard sword.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's a lot of work, right? It's going like kind of slow, but it's a lot. And oftentimes, like I try stuff and then I try it out and it doesn't work, and then I have to do something else, right? But I try to make something that is like good, but also I'm trying to make something that's kind of like fresh in another way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to take the easy path out.
Yeah,
I could have just said like, oh, I'm just gonna make everything a D100 and just give like percentage those dice roll and right.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like
and just make
choices.
the attribute give you a bonus, and right.
I said it looks like fun choices to make.
Yeah, well, and I might at some point also like try to work in a randomizing system in that as well. If you want to make a random character, but first I want to do like the
legit.
Yeah, the life path idea remind me of one I've seen from another game where was name I can't remember. Interesting. I like the concept. There's other game that did that. Traveler did a life path system. Burning Wheel did a life path system, but I tried to approach it in a bit of a different way.
In this one, though, the reason I don't like Traveler is because you don't really get to decide what your character is.
Yeah.
And in this one, it seems like there's no real random anything. You're just choosing the path you want to go down. So I think that's better. You still get that rounded character that you'd get out of Traveler, but you get to have what you want.
Yeah, and you might have choice to make at some point. Like you might not be able to have if you go with the background point, but also like the GM could very well say like, well, we're just gonna do a free form. Like that's gonna be an option, right? You can say like, we don't worry about the cost, don't worry about background point, or maybe like I'm gonna double the background point, right? So that's something that GM can easily play with.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's what I've been working on, right? So that's people that give me shit, right? Oh, when is that? Are you gonna finish that, right?
It's me.
Yes.
He's talking about me, literally. I'm sitting right here.
There's still progress being done.
Yeah.
But
it's good progress, man. It looks good.
Big undertaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. D&D lesson might as well make so the attribute is the modifier, not to be translated. I do something completely different, right? It's the attribute determine the type of dice you roll, and the skill, the number.
Yeah, I don't think there's I guess XP could be like, but you spend the XP, right? To increase your erudition or whatever.
Yes, you
Yeah.
spend the XP and then it goes back to 0.
It's all just modifiers, really.
What's the modifier?
I'm sorry. What I'm saying is that there's not arbitrary numbers that mean a useful number. It's like all the numbers you're using are useful and are what you use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I had some at some point, but I cut those out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still try to it not to be too clunky, to streamline some place, but also like I don't want to make it like completely like rule light, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll let you go, and I'll go myself too.
All right.
I need to go take care of my dog. Is farting like crazy, so I probably want to go outside.
He's not the only one.
Yeah, he's stinking up the office.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all watching the stream of us doing whatever the hell we just did. Going over things.
Yeah, just talking a bit and giving a I thank you, Phil, for humoring me in that and talking about my stuff, because I think it's good that I could make an update.
Yeah.
On what I've been working on Bastard Sword. Yeah.
Well, good night and God bless others. I hope you have an excellent evening.
Yeah. Have a good night, all. You hitting the button? You doing it? All right. Go ahead. Take care, guys.